Hello everyone, my name is Caden, and welcome back to more Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. Last time, we completed episode 4, which was fantastic, and now I think we're on to the final case. Whatever episode 5 is, I assume it's the final case. I don't know if it is or not, but I'm assuming, considering that's how... If it's following the Ace Attorney formula, I would assume it's 5 cases. I don't know if we're going to beat the game today. I don't know how long this case is going to last, but... Here we go. Shall we begin? Wait. Load game. Alright. Just wanted to do that. Oop. In the kingdom of Wyverngard, there was a gulf between what was lawful and what was just. People suffered, people died, all on behalf of the corrupt powers that ruled over us. The Lord of Cornhaven was drunk on the power of his station. He killed his friend the moment that power was threatened. The headmaster of the academy was cruelly thrown away, forced to realize that he built his legacy on borrowed authority. He committed unforgivable acts to cling to it. To the Duke of Commerce, his people were no different than the gold within his coffers. In his hunger, he nearly sacrificed hundreds to sit upon a hollow throne. Frega's inheritor had ambitions of grandeur, and had proven herself worthy, yet she was stripped of her power all the same. It drove her to seek liberation in hell. Oh, hey, Anamara, yeah, you joined in a perfect time. I literally just started. Even the evilest demons were not responsible for the rot within Wyverngard. They only revealed what was always there. People feared becoming prey, and that anxiety suffocated them. Reality had always demanded compromise. You know, I am so interested in seeing where this episode ends up going. One thing that I do feel like is going to happen, I feel like now would be the prime opportunity for a case where where our main character is the suspect. I feel like I'm honestly surprised the game didn't start with the... I mean, I guess I'm just so used to Ace Attorney games where, I mean, how many cases were there where Phoenix was the suspect? How many? I know the first one. I know Game 1 had one. Game 2... Did Game 2? Point is I feel like now would happen to Tyrion. Now it would happen to Tyrion. If Tyrion's going to become a suspect, it would be now. Because now that he's been revealed to everybody to be like someone descended from the enemy of Wyverngard, I feel like they're going to choose like do anything to make him the suspect. Some learned to numb themselves. Some learned how to exploit the world's cruelty. Some felt desperate enough to sell their souls to the devil. It was a rigged game, and sometimes virtues like law or justice felt so alien that they might as well have been fiction. Even if they were, I wanted to embody these ideals all the same. Case 5, Attorney of the Arcane. Ooh boy!
Tyrion?
Oh, hey. Oh, whoa. Wait, it just now occurred to me. The save menu, it said that we were in Tyrion's house, right? But this looks all furnished. This all looks good now.
It's almost noon. Are you gonna get out of bed?
I shifted under my blanket, leaving its warm embrace would surely kill me. I had to admit I couldn't spend the rest of my life in this bed. Eventually I'd have to return to the world to do anything. Is anything different in the menu? Practicing defense attorney and the best chess player in all of Wyverngard. I'm kind of surprised that his arcane art hasn't changed to whatever the magic class was. Okay, very small detail I want to point out, but it just stuck out to me for some reason. Arya's portrait and Selyse's portrait, or like Selyse is not the second person on the people menu. I'm pretty sure she has almost always been the second person. Maybe not for the first case, but I swear for every other episode, she's been like the second person in the people section, so seeing her in the third slot very much confused me for some reason. Also, I'm now noticing the wall of text that has become her section. What is this? My personal bodyguard and closest confidant. She's really the person I trust the most, and it's nice to be able to rely on someone. I always feel happier whenever she's around, and she always has this way of brightening the room she's in. She's an adept fighter and has saved my life more times than I can count. She looks really cool when she's fighting. Every fluid movement she makes looks effortless on her part. I get a little nervous whenever I look directly at her. It feels like I'm staring at the sun or a really radiant jewel or something. She always teases me when she catches me staring at her, but she never looks mad. I don't know. Tyrion. I just love that it's just become super long. But I was gonna knock over the first domino in that chain. Not yet.
Someone's actually here to see you.
I'm not interested. I'm taking another mental health day.
At the rate you're going, it's gonna turn into a mental health month. I get that you're feeling down, but you've got to get out there. You can't keep freeloading off of Arya.
Oh, Arya's been supplying us now. Why not? Isn't her family rich?
That's a bit rude, but I suppose I can overlook it this time.
Oh, hi, Arya. It's Steelwyn! My longtime rival walked into my room. I immediately rolled out of bed and fell to the floor trying to avoid her eyeline. I had my pride, and she was the last person I wanted to see me like this. Lying on the floor, I tried my best to brush my hair through my hands. After a while, I just stood up.
Tyrion, pants!
Right, sorry. Steelwyn winced as she politely turned her head away. She instantly walked out of the room. You are the ones who came into my room!
I'll give you some time to ready yourself.
Why am I the one in trouble when you're the one in here?
That's certainly something.
Don't walk into a guy's room!
It's not great, but I don't know what else to do. I've just been protecting the house until he snaps himself out of it. Have there been any incidents with intruders? Nope, I expected the Eye Taker to send someone, but the streets have been quiet.
Yeah... About that... At the end of, the last episode, to put it bluntly, yeah, that motherfucker's dead. Just to put it bluntly, that guy is 100% dead. Like, super dead.
Maybe they know your people are watching the house? We'll just have to hope that will be enough of a deterrent. Have you seen Ruby lately?
She's a person I'm more worried about. If anything, maybe it's my Ace Attorney brain at it again, but I still feel like the mentor's going to die. Like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like she might get killed. I don't know. I'm probably wrong. But I don't know. The reason I think this is because Eris said that she's going to do something that's going to absolutely break Tyrion. Obviously, this means it has to be to someone close to Tyrion, right? I don't think it'd be Selyse, because first off, I don't honestly know if the game would do that. But aside from that, I also feel like Selyse would be able to fight back. But Ruby would be a much easier target. If you're gonna start breaking Tyrion anywhere...
She's still practicing. I even faced her in a few trials.
Really?
I think she might be cooler than usual, but it's hard to tell with her disposition. I don't know what to do. It might be best to give both of them time. A lot has happened.
How does the world view Tyrion now, concerning his whole, Luminite descendants? After taking some time to wash my face and clean my hair, I walked downstairs to my living room. Selyse and Steelwyn are sitting at the dining table. Sorry about that. Hey! Book. It was a fantasy novel that I've been reading through. I've had a lot of free time to read through my collection.
Did you read that mystery novel I lent you?
I did, but I kind of guessed the twist from the beginning.
What? How?
The author called a lot of attention to the vials she dropped. It was pretty obvious the nurse accidentally switched them.
What a sad life you must live to never be surprised.
I already have enough surprises, gamer. I think I've had enough surprises for the time being. About to say. A stairway led to the second story of my home. I hadn't cleaned up the upper floor in a while. It'd probably be best to make sure Steelman didn't wander up there.
Oh, remember when I helped you move this bed from the flea market?
Right. I recall her doing most, if not all, the work. I didn't even know that carrying a bed frame single-handedly was humanly possible. She didn't even take out the mattress. Why are you so strong?
Prepario Arcanum!
I don't see anything with detect magic. Look at my badge!
It's an attorney's runestone. It proves that you're a certified attorney.
It does, doesn't it?
Are you doing well, Mr. Cuthbert? You seem...
I'm fine.
Of course. I just couldn't help but notice your absence. You haven't taken any of our clients since Beatrice's trial.
I'm not even sure if I'm going to practice law anymore.
What?
I only did this because Timur told me to, and now... My words trailed off.
Did you not enjoy it? You were very skilled at it.
I know, but... I need more time to think about this.
Have you considered becoming a prosecutor? You did a remarkable job prosecuting Beatrice.
If she'd asked me that last year, I'd just laugh at her offer, but Beatrice showed me that there were criminals that needed to be brought to justice. Steelman was an iron wall of an attorney. She never had to exploit the system like the other prosecutors of the Crown did. Following her example might not be a bad idea, but a part of me was also tired of following in someone else's footsteps. I'll think about it. Have your injuries been healing well? Yeah, how have you been?
Yes, Nightgrave's skill in necromancy is quite remarkable. I'm glad I introduced him to House Asclepius.
Asclepius?
House Asclepius specializes in the study of necromancy. After Nightgrave's expulsion from the Academy, I thought it was only right that he be allowed to continue his studies.
Oh, thank goodness.
Right, he mentioned that he owed you a favor. It was only logical. It'd be a waste to let someone of his talents fade into obscurity.
Even after everything that happened at the Academy, he was still following his own path. Even so, should you still be moving around like this? You should take some time off to recover.
As much as I would like to, there's been a recent uptick in cases of mage blight lately.
Mage blight. I recall hearing about it that many times. If a mage exceeded their stamina by overusing their magic, it would cloud their mind and send them into a violent frenzy.
If the nobility has been trying to suppress information about... The nobility has been trying to suppress information about these incidents. If I'm not there, there's no one to keep the Inquisition from capitulating to their demands.
I'm honestly kind of surprised we haven't seen many cases like that. Mage blight hasn't been a major factor in the cases we've been doing.
I was actually surprised to see you here, Sleaze. Well, I can't just leave him alone anymore. He ticked off a criminal overlord. They're definitely gonna send someone after him. And he can't really take care of himself right now.
Your thoughts are leaking.
Get out of my head! What?
It's nothing. Oh, right, you weren't there.
I am surprised though. Not many people dislike like the Eye Taker and live.
That just goes to show how scary Eris is.
He's been known for taking swift retaliation against his enemies.
We're hoping he's laying low after his plan with Beatrice fell through.
Either that, or Rui's doing what she can to protect him. Supposedly he's been absent from many of his enterprises.
Either way, he need to be dealt with eventually.
By the way, Tyrion, Ruby sent another letter. Do you wanna...
Put it with the rest.
Right. Have you spoken to her since trial?
Can we talk about something else?
Of course. My apologies. Oh, tea's ready. Oh, thank you. Some tea sounds lovely right now. Right, I was totally making it for you guys.
Shut up! She tried in the kitchen taking out 2 more teacups out of one of the cabinets. Just shut it up, please.
You guys better enjoy this. These are my last bags of...
She was carrying cups of tea to us. She stumbled and slipped on a scroll case lying on the floor. She got herself, but the teacup slipped out of her hands. The boiling liquid was airborne and was heading right toward my face.
Fiacqua!
Sleece's index finger shot to point at the airborne tea. Her magic took hold, and the molten tea froze just inches from my face. Thanks. She let out a sigh and slowly started to twist her hand. She magically guided tea back into their cups.
You really need to clean this place. I'm your bodyguard, not your maid.
Right. Sorry about that.
That was shaped liquid, wasn't it? Yeah.
Why is this... Is Celeste gonna get fucking... Wait. It just now occurred to me. What if Celeste ends up becoming a suspect again? I swear to God. Transmutation, Figaqua. Point finger at target while concentrating on the spell. The caster can magically manipulate up to 10 layers of liquid and form it into complex shapes. At any time, the caster can choose to freeze the liquid and solidify its current shape. While frozen, the caster can also choose to make the liquid instantaneously melt. Oh, I never expect you to...
I know, but it's just so convenient not to have. And my expertise is transmutation.
She's really opened her mind about learning new spells. I remember when I first met her, she only knew how to cast Mage Blade. She hated her magic back then. I never imagined how diverse her repertoire would become. What? There was another knock at the door. I could have really done without all the visitors today. I'm already up, I'll answer it.
Whatever they are, I'm not giving up any more of my lotus tea.
Who is it? I looked through the peephole. Didn't look like anyone was there. I slowly opened the door. A chain kept it partially locked. No one was on the street, but there was a letter in my mailbox. I quickly snatched it before shutting the door. It was an envelope sealed with candle wax. There was a crest on it. It was the insignia of House Pierce. Oh, great. Why? I quickly opened the letter and read it. Despite clearly being written by Pierce, the paper had been torn in half, but the message was clear. I hope you understand. I would have never contacted you unless I had no other choice. I know the truth behind McCoy's true parentage, and I'm aware of how vital this information is to you. As you know, my execution is scheduled for next month, and I'm running out of time. I want to trade this information with you. In exchange, you will grant me my freedom. Meet me in the private prayer room within the Grand Cathedral of the Scaled Lord at 2 p.m. You will save me from my fate, or else. What? Oh boy. It's just, I hope you understand. Okay, it is just the same thing. Why?
If he thinks for a second that we'd even think of helping him.
I know how you feel, but aren't these the answers you've been looking for?
I don't care. We're not going to help him.
That was never an option, but there's clearly more to this.
I agree. How's he able to find out in the first place?
Yeah.
The truth is, Sleaze, I've also been looking into your parentage. What? I'm sorry for not telling you, but I didn't want to raise your hopes. Even with the resources available to me, I couldn't find any information regarding your birth.
So if you couldn't find anything, how was Pierce able to? Yeah, especially considering the guy should be, you know, like under immense surveillance.
House Pierce is low on the political hierarchy. He shouldn't have access to the resources I do.
He was ruling lord of the land and the McCoy Tavern is on.
That's true, but I still find this whole situation is quite suspect.
And why would he ask for my help? I was the one who indicted him in the first place. Even if I did agree to help him, it would be nearly impossible for me to get him an acquittal. It would be a conflict of interest. Yeah, I was about to say, it wouldn't even be... How could we even get him an acquittal? We're the one who got him acquitted in the... Who got him indicted in the first place.
He must be so desperate. His execution is scheduled for next month, after all. It's possible that he reached out to Timora as well. I can't believe he set up a meeting at the Grand Cathedral today of all days.
Why? What's happening there?
I'm sorry, but it's not my place to tell you. Arya, can I talk with Tyrion alone for a minute? Of course. I'm sure you have much to discuss. I should also start heading to the cathedral today. I can't believe he used what happened as an opportunity. Good luck.
I'm sorry. I'm sure this is just bringing up bad memories for you.
We should meet with him.
Really? Are you sure?
We're not going to help him, obviously, but I have an idea. He's probably really scared of his execution, right? He's even desperate enough to ask for your help.
I suppose that's true.
So think about how stressed he would be if you showed up and refused to help him.
You want to use the Eye of Horus. I could use the Eye of Horus on him.
We can get the info we need without having to give him anything.
But are you really okay with this? You'll have to see him again.
I'll manage. It'll be worth it if we can finally get the answers I'm looking for.
Slayer had already gotten her hopes up, but there was no guarantee that he actually knew anything. I was worried about how this might affect her, but it was ultimately her decision. She'd done a lot for me. This was the least I could do.
Oh boy, is this gonna be a setup to get us killed? Or get us in trouble? I feel like it's gonna be a setup to get us in jail.
That's what I feel like's gonna happen.
So this is the Grand Cathedral of the Scaled Lord.
Have you never been here before?
The Church of Bahamut wasn't that popular in my hometown, and I've never been the religious type.
Don't you smile at me like that, Tanamari. It's frightening me.
What about you?
It never really caught on with me. Apparently my roots tied to the Celestials.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. He certainly has the looks for it.
Celeste, your thoughts are leaking again.
Can you stop?
I can't. I literally don't think I can. It just happens.
I can't exactly turn it off, you know. Do those mental exercises I told you about.
I'm a little annoyed that you've been looking into my mind for the last few months without telling me.
It's not something I can tell people about recklessly. You and Timur are the only ones who know.
Wait, I'm at the same level as Ruby?
Right now, you're much higher than her.
Okay.
That seemed to add a cheerful stride to her step. We approached the gates of the Grand Cathedral. There was a large blockade wailing off the entrance. Why? A large crowd of sightseers had gathered around the gates. What happened?
It's closed off. Is there some kind of event going on?
Is somebody already dead?
Our called Steelman mentioning that she was heading there here as well. The nobility must have been using the cathedral ground for some kind of private event. I explained why Pierce wanted to meet us here. It was probably secluded from prying eyes today. Tyrion Cuthbert. As we approached the blockade, one of the knights noticed us. He looks Celeste and me up and down. We've been expecting you. I see. I exchanged glances with Celeste. She raised her eyebrow at me. I just shrugged. We went past the gate and into the cathedral. The walls of the cathedral nave toward high. The afternoon sun shone through the stained glass near the ceiling. It definitely inspired awe, but like most things, it was a grim reminder of an excess that the commoners would never see. The pews of the cathedral looked like they could host hundreds of people at a time, but it was completely empty, save for a few people standing near the altar. Aside from the servants, most of them were quite familiar. They were all speaking in hushed whispers.
Oh, hey.
I spotted Leifa and Miriam as we walked into the room.
I don't know how they're gonna feel about me.
Yep. They both avoided eye contact with us. Understandable, considering how I indicted their sister. As soon as they spotted us, they moved their conversation elsewhere. Oh, great. In another corner of the room, I spotted Von Sanctus and Sybil. I always seemed to spot them together. Maybe they were friends. As soon as we began approaching them, Von Sanctus flashed us a quick look of disdain. He and Sybil moved their conversation away as well.
Nobody likes us.
And finally, there was Prosecutor Steelman and her father, along with the two princes. Although there was someone speaking to them that I didn't recognize. Oh yeah, this guy! We only saw him briefly at the end of episode 1. When he noticed us, his face darkened. He stared the two of us down. The Crown Prince especially seemed surprised to see us here. He and Lucio said something to Arya, but I couldn't hear it from where we were. When she responded, Aster's eyes widened while Lucio's narrowed.
This is a little awkward.
You're telling me. It is, but we have some time before our meeting with Pierce. This is my first time here too. Do you want to do some sightseeing?
Oh, are you asking me out?
We are literally already out.
Sure, why not? I picked up this map from the entrance.
There we go.
I'm kind of curious about why they're all here.
It was strange.
I have a feeling no one likes me anymore.
Nave, common room, garden, prayer room, balcony, and high speaker's quarters. Ah, presenting your runestone as always, Mr. Cuthbert. It's a bit of a habit, but maybe I should stop.
Don't. You always look so excited when you show it to people.
I don't even know what this thing means to me anymore.
I mean, it's still useful. You can take pictures and write notes about how things are than crime scenes.
Does
I'm sorry, but I already forgot your name. I don't know why.
Aster. Does Aster still like us anymore?
What do you think about this, Celeste?
Sorry, Tyrion. I don't think I can help you.
What? Why are you the one answering?
Celeste, I'm not trying to present to you. I'm trying to present to Aster.
It's always a pleasant surprise to see you, Mr. Cuthbert.
Okay, maybe he is still cool with us.
Really? I also thought you'd be angry at us.
I don't blame you for what happened with Beatrice, and I'm ultimately glad you caught her in the end. After what she said during the trial, it frightens me to think about what she might have done with House Draeger's resources.
I see. Okay, so he's still kind of chill with us.
So, Aster, have you made any progress with Steelwind?
Progress?
Celeste.
Leave the poor girl alone.
Ah!
Could you please not do this in front of me?
Ah, Miss McCoy, it's nice to see you again. You look as radiant as ever.
Oh, thank you.
I had a feeling. Arya, your father's showing. The side of your father is showing. Oh god, why is your father here too? Why are you all looking at me like that? Esther, run! Nothing about Garrick. Miriam? I see the dog is still here. The dog. Bork. Lloyd? What about Sybil? Lucio? Nope. Esther? Nope. And Alaric? Nope. Did I already present the... I think I did. Was examined. There are rows upon rows of seats for worshippers to sit at. At full capacity, this room could probably host thousands of people at a time. There's an altar at the end of the room. A religious figure would probably give a sermon here. It's a stained glass window. A small ray of sunlight is shining through it. Anything else?
Arcane.
Magic? I don't see any magic. Alright, let's talk, buddy.
I think I saw Arya over there. Maybe we should go say hi.
Are you sure? As we approached the group, both the Grand General and the unnamed noble didn't break their gaze with Celeste. Hello. The nobleman's eyes went to me and then to Celeste. He scanned the both of us, saying nothing. He then walked away without a word. Okay. Rude.
Mr. Cuthbert, Miss McCoy, I'm surprised to see you here.
What? I thought you were the one who invited them.
I'm sad to say that I didn't. Although I am happy to see you two nonetheless. What brings you to the Grand Cathedral today?
We were actually invited by another noble. We have a meeting with him. What? None of the people here are allowed to invite guests. Why didn't the gods stop you? Oh, they said they were expecting us. What?
It's Lord Pierce who invited them.
Pierce! That little... And to think I granted his request for temporary release.
I'm sure he meant no disrespect by it. And he probably had his reasons.
How can you say that? This is the day of your...
He stopped himself and cleared his throat. He thinks because he's a dead man that he has nothing to lose. Okay, so whatever's happening today is evidently important to Aster.
I'll be sure to correct that.
A gathering of nobles. I have to ask, why are all these nobles gathered here? You've taken over the entire cathedral. Everyone seemed to tense up at that.
I'm sorry, but I'm not at liberty to tell you that. It's a matter of public safety.
What? I see. A little strange, but I could read the room. I said nothing.
You said that Lord Pierce invited you here. For what reason?
I can't really tell you that.
You will tell us if it poses a threat to the nobles in attendance.
Please, Grand General, there's no need for that. Mr. Cuthbert would never do anything to put anyone's life in danger.
As you wish, your... Majesty. Is this the reason why Pierce asked for a temporary release?
Is this the day that Aster is becoming the king? Is that what's going on? Because he almost just called Aster your or he's actually calling him Majesty. So Pierce was temporarily released to attend whatever this was.
I could have met with him in his cell. Why would he pick such a strange location?
They Stewin, Your Majesty, the High Speaker's ready to speak with you.
Oh,
Stewen's face ran red, as it usually did when around the Crown Prince. Her eyes darted around the room.
Wonderful. I've been looking forward to this all day. Shall we go together, Miss Stewin?
Yes, Your Majesty, she would like to accompany you.
We shouldn't keep him waiting.
okay.
Okay. Scale Lord, how does she plan to marry him if she can't even get a word out in his presence?
Seriously.
I also have something important to do. Good day to you all.
Okay. The little prince trotted out of the room, his head held high. Okay.
Isn't that the washroom?
I will be taking my leave as well, but make no mistake, my men will be keeping an eye on you two.
Yeah.
The room was empty now. Time to move somewhere else. Common room. Oh, hey. Oh, hey.
Oh, what are you doing here? Did you follow us?
Unintentionally.
Trust me, you're the last person I wanted to see today.
If they are here by chance, it's because the cosmic balance wills it to it so. Anyway, I owe a lot to them.
What did you mean by that? That's curious. What do you mean you owe a lot? The sunlight was shining through the glass window. The ceramic altar was at the end of this room. There were candles on top of it made out of pure gold. Tacky. Just sounds very tacky.
Reparium Arcanum.
I don't see no magic. You know the rules.
It's your attorney's runestone. I'm glad you've been keeping it in good shape.
Be grateful. You only have access to such sophisticated artificery because of my house's ingenuity.
I've been to Arcaris, Lord Lloyd. I'm aware that you stole your designs from them.
Ah.
What do you think about this?
It is not my role to speak of such things.
In other words, you had nothing to say. Fair enough. Nothing on that. What about magic? Shape? Nope. Tyrion.
Tyrion Cuthbert. It appears we were fated to meet.
I mean, it was bound to happen eventually. My business tends to step on the toes of the four pillars.
I concur. Our souls were drawn together by the cosmic balance.
Is she hitting on you?
I don't know. I have no idea. I was about to say, I got no clue about that one. She could be. She could not be. I don't know. I don't speak space. Nothing on Timora. Garrick? Nope. Miriam? Nope. How many people are we going to end up having in this? I feel like for some reason this people section is about to become very crowded during this case. I just have the strangest feeling. What about yourself? No. Nothing on Lucio. Aster? Not a lot to talk about, do you? Alright. Coraline Sybil. What did you mean that when you said you owed us?
You played your role well. Your actions have brought to light the crimes of William and Lloyd.
Nothing has been proven legally.
Yet it was evident in every other aspect. You disgusting cur.
Wow. Anger and sadness. Damn. Her thoughts were livid, but her demeanor remained blank.
You and William paid off the representatives within my House of Lords. You two made complete mockery of everything that my noble house has stood for. And for what? So you could temporarily snatch power away from the Steel Winds.
I was merely thinking about the future of my house. You know Lucio can't be trusted. He executed Lady Ophelia, his own wife.
Grand General executed his wife. That's what I'm. What do you mean by that?
Is that what really happened to her mom? He was carrying out his duty. Ophelia committed a crime that demanded absolution. I understand that you cared for her, but you're spitting on her memory by using her to justify your actions. Enough. I've had enough to mourn for today.
Wyvernguard's justice system. Your Grace, this has to have opened your eyes to the corruption in the justice system. You have the power to change it. You have to do something to fix it.
How dare you take advantage of her poor mood to plant your insidious ideas?
Why the outrage, Lord? Should he have given you and William credit for the idea? Mr. Cuthbert, have you ever heard of the saying that justice is blind?
Yes, I guess so.
That saying is incorrect. Justice isn't blind. It must be kept blind.
Why?
I'm sure that I must look like a naive and blind fool to you. The truth is I've had my own suspicions of William and Lloyd for years. Every instinct in my body has been screaming that they were plotting behind our backs.
What?
However, I could never definitively prove it, not even to myself. Humans are inherently flawed. It is our very nature. What many refer to as instinct is simply the drive for an individual's own survival. I would not be arrogant in saying that House Sybil holds the most power among the 4 pillars. We oversee the exchange of resources between noble houses. We authorize the movement of our forces. The other pillars are the arms and legs of Wyvernguard. House Sybil is its beating heart. To put my finger on the scales of justice would be to disrupt the harmony of our system. It would disrupt the cosmic balance.
What is this cosmic balance you keep talking about? What are you talking about? What even is this cosmic balance?
It's the natural order of the world. It is the guiding philosophy of House Sybil. It's the belief that everything naturally progresses towards something better.
So you just expect things to get better without having to do anything. The people of the kingdom are suffering because of your inaction.
My inaction? You place the blame on me, but what about you? You were once a champion of your so-called justice, but you've stopped your work as a defense attorney. How many lives could you have saved in the month that you spent on vacation? It's not his responsibility to clean up your mess. You have no idea how much he's suffered doing this. You're right. He shouldn't bear that kind of responsibility alone. Every commoner has the ability to learn and practice laws as you do, Mr. Cuthbert. So why are you one of the few commoners that do so? From what I've heard, you're one of the few people who defend mages of the common folk. Every other attorney wouldn't even consider taking them as clients. Perhaps the problem lies in the common folk, then. They are fully capable of rising to defend the innocent, and yet they do nothing.
Final play. Your Grace, you have to do something. You have more power than possibly anyone else in the kingdom. You have a voice.
That's precisely why I can't act so recklessly. A power like mine can't be invoked so clumsily. I must trust that the system my family has built will allow the cosmic balance to guide us to a better tomorrow. The rules must be followed. Otherwise, there would be nothing separating us from the animals. I choose to have no voice, because it is my responsibility to make sure that everyone else has one.
And what about the late Duke of Finance? Look how easily he bent your system to his own ends.
People like you are part of the system as well. Akin to white blood cells in an organism, you sought out the infection and corrected it.
It was only out of sheer luck. Do you have any idea how badly William's plot could have ended if it had gone any other way?
I'll admit that the House of Lords was far more valuable than I expected, and I'm sincerely thankful that you brought it to light. The system isn't perfect, but incidents like this allow us to prevent such abuse from happening in the future. Like a species evolving over history, like a stream smoothing out the edges of a stone, the cosmic balance will bring us to a better tomorrow. That said, while I choose not to have a voice, I think yours could be of great help to us. Shortly after her indictment, Lady Beatrice made a plea deal with Prosecutor Steelman. Her evidence and testimony have allowed us to arrest several seat members within the House of Lords. There are many vacant seats now. Would you be interested in having one, Mr. Cuthbert?
What?
Coraline, you can't be serious.
I've realized that the House of Lords could use a lot more oversight, something I think you can provide. Of course, I need to consult the other representatives, but I think they'll agree. I'll give you some time to think about it.
Wait, Coraline! Coraline!
The Minister of Justice ignored him and left the room. The Duke of Commerce chased after her frantically.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that.
The idea's ridiculous.
I kind of understand her worldview in a way.
What? She's just using that cosmic balance nonsense as an excuse to do nothing.
But think about what it'd be like to have that much power. Everything you do could potentially affect the entire kingdom.
Yeah, I get that. It's that kind of power can probably be terrifying to have. All it takes is one little, all it takes is like one little flick of your wrist, and then suddenly everything's changed with that much power.
Imagine being responsible for the lives of millions of people. How imagine nobles like William, Lucio, and Von Sanctus all trying to manipulate you to get what they want. I don't blame her for not trusting herself to use that power. I don't agree with her, but I'm just saying I understand where she's coming from. You probably know it better than anyone else. The right thing to do isn't always so plain and simple.
I'll admit that she does seem sincere in trying to do the right by the kingdom. And I suppose that auditing the House of Lords would be a simple thing with the Eye of Horus.
Are you gonna take her offer?
I just sighed and scratched my head. The problems were always with Wyverngard's justice system. There was a lot of good I could do if I had a seat at the table, but at the same time, was I really going to jump headfirst into this? It's a lot. I'll have to sit on it for a while.
Coraline, wait! Are you seriously going to put that boy in the House of Lords? He admitted that he's a cleric of the theocracy.
Same energy as not containing a Jenga tower or game, only with real consequences? Yeah. Yeah, I guess that does work as an analogy, yeah. One little action and you could topple everything over. You have to be very careful with it.
He can't be trusted.
Shut up, Lloyd.
What? Coraline,
You and William orchestrated the death of hundreds of innocent people behind my back, and yet you feel nothing. What is wrong with you?
Well, it was really William's idea.
Don't give that trite. You've been like this since we were children. You always lick the boot of whoever you think is strongest and hide behind them like a sniveling child. I may not use my voice, but you just parrot whoever's willing to put up with you.
I don't...
I can see the truth, even if you can't. You aligned yourself with William because you were too much of a coward to go against him. You justified it, using your little vendetta against Lucio. All because the Grand General executed Ophelia, the woman you never had the balls to even try to win the heart of.
Holy shit. Damn, what the...
You are pathetic, and I personally hope the House of Lords votes to dismantle House Von Sanctus piece by piece.
Jesus Christ.
I will not make the mistake of trusting you again, Lloyd.
Damn. His ass got scorched. Jesus Christ.
Prepario Arcanum.
Reworked dialogue is fire. Oh, was that's different? It's good is what it is, though. Alright, go back to the nave. No. Cathedral Garden. Oh, look, a Pegasus with a birthday hat! Birthday hat! Explore the pathways surrounding the cathedral. They had created a garden around them. They're filled with flowering hedges, trimmed with the same reverence they held for the Scaled Lord. Celeste walked over to the nearby marigolds and plucked one of them. She turned the stem thoughtfully between her fingers. I'm gonna be honest with you, considering the kind of kingdom we live in, is that a good idea? The petals shone brightly, its golden radiance only rivaled by their reflection in her eyes.
Are you okay?
She suddenly looked at me. I realized I was staring. Sorry. I really had a lot I needed to figure out. I cleared my throat as I quickly walked past her, but I froze as I came across a peculiar statue. Why does it have a birthday hat?
Oh, that's a little off place. What even is it?
Hi, Beatrice! Why are you here? Why are you here, Beatrice?
If my memory is correct, it's a Pegasus.
Hello, friends.
Hey, Tracker. Beatrice and Tracker stood up from a nearby bench. I didn't even notice them. Beatrice was carrying a leash with which Tracker used to guide her to us. She seemed to be staring past me, only turning her head and to face in our general direction whenever we spoke. Oh. Oh. Wait. Maranath's gone, isn't he? Because of what happened with us breaking the blood contract, Maranath probably doesn't have to stay with her anymore.
No, 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 leave. It's Super Smash Bros. Everyone is here. There's one person I want to not be here. She was followed by Eris, who was looming behind her. Get her out of here! Eris flashed me a blank smile as I noticed her. Get me out of here! I don't want to be here.
Beatrice, aren't you supposed to be...
Dad.
I meant to say locked up, but...
No, it's perfectly understandable. You of all people know that what was on my blood contract.
Wait. Actually, no, wait. Okay, hang on. I was so caught off by your appearance here that it completely slipped my mind. Yeah, you should be dead. Wait a minute. How are you alive?
It appears the Empress of Discord is...
You son of a...
It appears the Empress of Discord isn't going to kill me just yet.
Please.
Is that really necessary?
Is she not even hiding anymore?
What?
Never mind.
I saw her!
Beatrice's sisters follow behind her. Their eyes never met mine. They didn't seem hostile, and all things considered, I preferred their company over the two pillar heads. The eldest Freyja looked down somberly. She didn't look defeated. There was something else. Was it dread? Look at this thing.
Is that your attorney's runestone? Why are you presenting it to me?
I present to everyone.
Eris did tell me about that. She kept calling it a badge for some reason.
Why do you call it a badge?
You won't understand. The meaning is beyond your understanding.
Okay.
Why do you know the fourth wall?
What can you tell me about this, Beatrice?
My apologies. I have nothing to say about that.
The fear. It is building at a rapid and consistent pace.
You seem to be doing well, Mr. Cuthbert. Why are you looking at me like that?
Are you seriously not angry at me?
At this point, what would it accomplish? You defeated me despite my best efforts. I suppose I respect you for that.
Sort of made sense, but there was something else. It's difficult to see, but I could sense some dread in her. I mean, she knows she's going to probably die at some point. Why would she not be afraid?
I wonder, is Arya still a complete mess when she's around Esther?
Yep.
I want to be happy for her. Even when we were engaged, she was completely infatuated with him.
That sounds awkward.
I do hope she can learn to be happy with him.
Nothing on Celeste. I'm still scared by the fact that she's right next to us.
Have you spoken with Timora since the trial?
No, I haven't.
She really does care for you. I remember, even during the court case, she would speak of you constantly.
Can we talk about something else?
Of course. My apologies.
Nothing on Pierce.
It seems that after all these years, Miriam still hasn't matured.
What?
Oh, come now. You won't make any friends with that pompous attitude of yours.
I don't need friends. I'm Freyja. What would I have? Need what I have for such things?
If you truly mean that, then you don't know anything about our house. Your skills and intellect are worthless if you can't win over political allies. You will always have weaknesses. You need allies who can cover for them and support you.
Like you and that demon.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Perhaps we should talk about something else.
Oh boy.
Leifa, are you really against marrying Jane von Sanctus?
Absolutely. That man is an ignorant know-it-all.
With Aster taken, there aren't many other suitors capable of strengthening House Freyja.
I just can't marry someone I don't love.
It's not as if you would need to be married to him for long. Accidents happen. All it takes is one false step on a staircase and...
Beatrice!
I'm joking, of course.
No, you ain't.
I just want to make sure you're both taken care of when I'm gone.
Stop talking like that. It's as if you're planning on dying. You're not leaving us again.
Miriam,
I'm sorry.
my apologies. Let's talk about something else.
Tell me about the dog. Oh, I wanted to see the dog. Nothing on that. Nothing on Lucio. Aster?
I hope Esther is okay. He was never emotionally strong.
What do you mean?
Wait, do you not know why we're all gathered here?
I've been meaning to ask about that. I don't like whenever you appear.
I'm sorry then. It's not my place to tell you.
Anytime Eris appears, I feel an immense sense of dread. Nothing about yourself. What is this thing, by the way? You called it a Pegasus earlier.
It's a creature of divine origin. Many people believe that the angels of the upper planes rode these creatures into battle.
I see.
Do you feel some kinship to it?
I feel confused by its existence not because of its statue, but more so because why does it have a party hat? I can only feel its suffering.
What?
Its face is contorted to an expression of pure agony. It screams out in terror, yet no one can hear its pleas for mercy.
Queen, I think he's broken.
Someone ignorant of its plight has placed some sort of vain party hat upon its head. As if they are mocking its torment, like some kind of demon torturing a poor soul in the fields of Avernus.
What are you even saying?
I'm sorry. I need to take a moment to think about what I've just witnessed here. We all should.
Alright, Tyrion, you go do that.
Tyrion? You good, bro? Actually, don't answer that. I already know the answer. Of course you're not.
Prepario Arcanum.
There's no magic. Alright, let's talk. So, you seem to be doing well, all things considered.
Right. I suppose you would expect me to be wallowing in self-pity, crying over the demon that now has ownership of my soul. Nine hells, Heavensborn. I can't stand when you look at me like that.
You know, my offer still stands. I can try to help you.
At the risk of your own soul? Which part of the contract would you dispute anyway?
I couldn't answer. I've been combing through her blood contract for the last month. I thought of every angle of attack, but there was very little room for interpretation.
Believe me, I've had years to look it over, but it's impossible to break.
I'm sorry.
Don't be. You defeated me. I won't suffer your pity.
Eris, I don't... We always meet in the strangest places, Eris. What are you doing here?
I requested to accompany Beatrice into this event. After all, I don't have many opportunities to enter a church like this.
Yeah, because the holiness of it repels you, demon!
I can imagine.
By the way, is your father still dead? Yeah.
Oh, if you're worried about him, we've already had a conversation about you. I don't think he'll be accosting you anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm sure he won't. Oh. Thank you.
That sounds too good to be true.
It is.
How'd you pull something like that off? He may look like a hardened criminal, but he's always had a soft spot for his family.
The sad thing is, I actually believe that. From what we saw of his final moments before he was attacked at the end of episode 4, he truly did care about his daughter. He thought that Eris made herself look like his daughter, and he was terrified when it was real, when he was finally able to see that it wasn't his daughter. I can believe he really did care about his family. It's kind of, ugh. Brutal, yep.
He also owed me, and I have a way of making people see things my way.
Beatrice scoffed when she heard that, yeah? I bet. I assume Marnoth is just gone. Wait, if you're here, does that mean Marnoth is also...
Oh, hell no. They never let me bring him here of all places. He's being guarded by the Kingsguard near the entrance.
Oh, he's still alive. I completely honestly thought he just abandoned you, considering the contract was broken.
If he tries to escape, the knight will be over there is ordered to kill me.
Oh, okay. She gestured toward a knight who was silently watching all of us from afar. Bro just has a crossbow readied. You're surprisingly calm about this.
I've regularly dealt with demons. This is nothing in comparison to that. You've really changed a lot. Considering how I was before, I'll take that as a compliment.
Wait, if Marnoth isn't here, how do you know which statue I was looking at?
It was a lucky guess. That grotesque statue certainly makes an impression on you. Oh, Marnoth just spoke with me. He wanted me to let you know that he can smell your celestial stink from the entrance.
Love you too, Marnoth. Thanks, Marnoth.
I'm not going to repeat his response to that.
Why not? Heavensborn. I've been meaning to ask. During the trial, you and Marnoth kept calling me Heavensborn. What does that mean? Do you know about my abilities?
What? Did you seriously not know? You know how to issue a divine edict. That's a very advanced spell.
Really? I don't really understand it myself, but I learned it after solving a riddle on the Earrings of Vitality.
Of course you did.
What do you mean by that? What does that mean?
Anyways, I'm quite surprised you don't know about your lineage.
No. I was scared that she was Maybe my mother knew, but I lost her when I was really young. Stop looking at me like that.
I see. You have my condolences. But to answer your question, a Heavensborn is a human whose bloodline has been touched by the gods.
I'm assuming you're not talking about the Skilled Lord.
No, I'm speaking of the actual gods. Beatrice, you can't say that here. Oh, come off it. What's the church going to do? Arrest me?
Fair enough.
Anyways, your blood has been touched by the celestials of the upper planes. Much like my soul is tainted and tied to the abyssal hells, your soul is consecrated by the heavens.
The Saz Queen. Yeah, I mean, it's like, there's not really a whole lot they can do to her that's worse than what's just going to happen. She's already doomed. So I am a cleric then.
You're much more than a cleric. Your kind is nearly extinct. And make no mistake, if you find yourself under the wrong circumstances, even you can be sent to hell.
I assume she's referring to the contract business. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, I actually have a weird... If we're talking about the stakes for a final trial, like, what would the... I just realized, so, since it's probably the final episode, the stakes would have to be real high, right? What if the stakes involves risking our own soul? What if it's not that Tyrion's going to be in trouble, but Tyrion's going to put himself in trouble trying to negotiate a contract with a demon? I wonder if that's what's going to happen. I didn't even think of that, but the way she said that just made me think, like, wait, that could be it. The Celestials. Oops. Are there really that few Heavensborn? What about the theocracy to the west of us?
Much like mages, the power of a Heavensborn is passed through bloodlines. Many of those bloodlines have been lost over luminous history. Some were lost in the previous wars, some strayed from the path and were ended by the theocracy itself. And many were ended by the Celestials' enemies.
Yeah, many were ended by the Celestials' enemies. Here's a heiress for absolutely no reason in particular. She doesn't even say anything! Why is Wyverngard going to so much trouble to hide this from everyone?
The theocracy has been this kingdom's enemy since it was created. The Luminite's greatest weapon is their faith. Wyverngard has always feared that faith would infect the people like a sickness, and destroyed Wyverngard from within.
So like always, it's all about control.
It also runs contrary to the Church of Bahamut. The ancient dragons are also an enemy of heaven. They've done their best to wipe out any religions that worship the Celestials.
I see.
If your bloodline is blessed by the Celestials, does that mean our kids will also be Heavensborn?
Celeste, I don't think you can just ask a guy that. I suppose so. I think my mother was also a... I paused for a moment, processing what she just said. Celeste?
I asked if your kids will the heavens born.
No, you didn't. Oh. What was I thinking?
Wow. If only it were that easy.
Tyrion becoming Aster level dense. Anyways, I'm a little curious about the Theocracy of Lumina.
Frankly, I'm surprised there's even one Heavensborn living in Wyverngard. How does your bloodline even find its way here?
Suppose I don't really know. My mother never told me about our ancestry.
That makes sense. If the Church of Bahamut knew what you were, they would have definitely hunted you down.
The last thing I needed was another faction that wanted to kill me.
Anyway, travel into and out of Wyverngard is technically illegal, and I doubt Steel One would make an exemption for you. After all, House Steel One suffered the most during the Great Luminite War. Lucio might as well be a veteran of that conflict.
Veteran?
No!
Oh no.
No, I hate the vet. I'm not going. You'll never take me alive.
We all watched as Tracker frantically ran through the garden, trampling several flowers and barking loudly. Dang it. Wait a minute. Sorry, I was looking at a text. Leifa chased after him as he was being as he began accosting a passing knight.
I should go help her.
It's almost 2 p.m. anyways. We should head to the prayer room. How much you want to bet there's going to be a murder there by the time we walk back? Alright, at this point, I'm going to take 2 guesses to who the actual person being murdered is. I'm going to guess it's going to be either, Timora, or it's going to be Pierce. That's what I'm going to guess. It's going to be either Timora or Pierce. Thanks for answering my questions, Beatrice. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you with this Empress of Discord.
Stop showing up, you son of a bitch.
She's got...
Stop that.
I know what she said that time, too. She said...
She's closer than you think. There's nothing you can do.
No? Fuck you.
Try not to look so defeated. It's almost time for the main event. Why'd you bring me here? Oh, who knows? Whatever you're planning to make me do, please. Please don't make me harm my sisters. You're in no position to make demands. You'll just have to wait and see for yourself. Stay safe, Heavensborn.
Think you're just seeing things? No. Nuh-uh. I know I took my medicine today. I'm not to... It's not medicine for that kind of thing, but no. Oh, prayer room. I feel like I'm gonna walk into the prayer room and somebody's gonna be dead. Are you ready? No?
Yeah, at least I hope so.
You can stand guard outside if you want. I only need a few moments to look into his mind.
No, I'm the one who asked you to do this, and I'm not going to leave you alone with him. Tyrion?
Yeah?
Thank you for coming here with me. It really means a lot.
Honestly, I think I just need an excuse to leave the house.
It's not just this. You're always looking out for me. You got me acquitted. You helped me see the truth behind my dad. Feels like I can never repay that.
What are you talking about? For the past few months, all I've been doing is relying on you. Celeste, I was going to tell you something at the Lord's Ball.
Oh,
I didn't really know how to say it, but...
Wait, we're talking about this now?
I feel like something always happens, so, I took a deep breath. Celeste, No, the world's trailed off. Celeste, you're very, Damn it, it was happening again! Come on, I knew what I wanted to say, and I was fairly certain she felt the same way. I took in one last breath, my air filled my lung. My heart was pounding, sweat was beginning to form under every crevice of my suit. I pushed everything from my mind. The fear, the anxiety, the hesitation from leaping over the chasm. I steeled my resolve. I was Tyrion motherfucking Cuthbert. I won't let anyone stand in my way, man, king, or god, or most of all, myself. Sleeps Picoya, I love... Oh god, she's here. Stealing?
Arya! How long have you been standing there? Are you serious right now, Arya?
Happiness, anger, and shock.
Well, I knew you'd be around here this time. I'm so sorry, I didn't know what to do and froze. I wanted to wish you luck, but you two seem to be in the middle of something. I was going to leave, but then I got worried I'd draw attention myself. Don't stop on my account. I'll just get out of your way.
As she scared away, I saw something fall out of her pocket. It was her runestone.
Arya, you dropped something.
As Lise went to pick it up, she accidentally activated it. An image of some evidence appeared for a brief moment, but Arya quickly snatched it from Sleeth's hand.
Wait, is that why everyone's gathered here today?
Sleeth, don't just invade her privacy like that.
Don't be like that. I'm really happy for you.
Okay, it's their marriage.
Thank you. Good luck.
Part of me really wanted to know what she saw, but one of us had to exercise some self-restraint. Any wins I had in my sails were gone. There was nothing left to push me forward. She just silently walked over to me and planted a kiss on my cheek. I jumped back. My hand went to where her lips made contact. She just swayed playfully and giggled as she watched the embarrassed look on my face.
Tyrion, I already know.
You do? Then...
I'm still not saying it before you do.
What?
You've been stringing me along for a month. That's what you get.
Fine, I guess that's fair. I looked at the time. The time of the meeting was approaching. We're gonna be late.
It's fine. There's always next time.
Honestly, this next part would be far easier than saying those words. I strained my tie and wiped the sweat from my brow before entering the prayer room. Bruh.
Ah, you finally arrived. I suppose this means you finally decided... What? You two?
We got your letter.
Letter? What letter?
We're being set up. You sent us a letter, Pierce. It said that you knew who Sleeth's parents were.
I did send that letter, but not to you.
What?
What's going on?
Not good.
And so the final act begins.
Not good.
Please, Grand General, I think you're overreacting. I'm sure this is just a practical joke.
The Grand General ignored him and continued taking swings at the force field with his great axe. What is happening?
Lucio, you are well aware that you can't destroy this cage with brute force.
There's a cursed spell. It's a nuisance every time I come across it. You, what are you doing away from your post?
The knight said nothing in response. He left the room through the east exit.
What? How suspicious.
I don't like this. Something weird's happening.
Where are they? Of all the times for those two to disappear. You don't think she's trying to escape, do you? Honestly, I wouldn't put it past...
Whoa, what the Lazaric Asclepius?
Hey,
Lord Asclepius, did you find Beatrice?
I didn't. But there's something else. Someone just trapped His Majesty in a force cage.
Why?
What? Oh no, it's Beatrice. Is Force Cage even in her compendium?
Either way, I think it's safer if we reconvene with the others in the nave. The King's Guard are forming a perimeter while they wait for the force cage to disappear. We'll be safe there. She'll be fine. She always is.
I suppose you're right. Tracker, let's go.
Tracker said nothing. He was growling at the pathway leading north. Oh, God.
Tracker, I said let's go.
I smell evil rats.
You can chase the rats after the funeral. Let's go.
Yes, Queen.
I don't like this. The Duke and the Minister turned the corner and fled into the common room. Their assailant wasn't far behind, but hopefully they'd lost her. Oh, no.
No, this must be some mistake. I know Steelwyn.
She would never do that. Whoa, what do you mean, Miss Steelwyn?
We can't think about that now. We'll just have to hope that she won't think to look here.
Lloyd tried to check at Coraline for any wounds, but she just slapped his hand away. Oh, God, what's happening?
Lloyd, just teleport away. Choose a place where your mage blight won't hurt anyone.
I am not leaving you alone with her.
Do you think your recklessness will earn my forgiveness? Just go.
Damn it all, she's coming.
That's not her. That's not her. No, no, no. Where are your pupils? That's not Arya. That's not her. Arya Steelwyn turned the corner and stood at the room's north entrance. She walked towards the two pillar lords without a word or hint of emotion.
Arya, please. I don't know what your father told you, but there has to be another way. We don't need to give in to our primal urges.
You're just another bloodthirsty Steelwyn. You barbarians have no place in our kingdom.
Are we gonna be protecting Steelwyn? Oh, God.
Lloyd, look out!
Coraline tackled Lloyd as she foresaw an attack from behind. The crossbow bolt would have pierced Lloyd's heart if she hadn't acted. Instead, the bolt pinned itself in the back of Coraline's shoulder.
Coraline!
It's fine. I can heal this.
Well, we can't have that, can we? Who? The shooter stepped into the room from the south entrance, crossbow in hand. Arya had done a wonderful job of driving the two of them here.
Damn it all! Is this your accomplice? Show us your face, you coward!
The assassin said nothing and aimed his crossbow at the two of them. Lloyd stayed silent, but suddenly started breathing more heavily and haggardly. The Duke of Commerce turned around and tackled Arya to the ground. Again, her face was blank. She didn't seem to be bothered at all. All she did was struggle to break the Duke's grip on her. The assassin was about to shoot, but cursed under his breath once Arya was brought into the line of fire. It wasn't her time yet. She needed to live through this. Lloyd cursed at himself. Even he was wondering what he was doing. It was as if his body had moved on its own. For that matter, why had he refused to teleport away as Coraline asked? He had a bunker specifically designed for this. No one would have blamed him. He wasn't meant for combat. Those thoughts were spinning around his head, but they were being pushed away, over him by something he'd never felt before.
Coraline, run! Get away from here!
But
Go!
The minister hesitated, but her survival instincts won over in the end. She ran past Lloyd, who was keeping Arya pinned to the ground. She cried as she ran in terror. The assassin leveled her crossbow at her. The Duke growled in defiance. He shoved Arya away and formed a cross with his arms.
Teleportec!
A thin stone layer suddenly formed to cover the entirety of the Minister of Justice's body. A crossbow bolt whistled past Lloyd, but it bounced off Coraline's hardened skin. She had gone away. Stone skin doesn't require concentration, does it? Not bad, Lloyd.
Who the hell are you?
The assassin flicked his head toward the hallway that Coraline ran to. Arya immediately stood up. Arya, Ender, I'll handle the Duke. Without a word, Arya sprinted from the common room to pursue her prey. The assassin just shook his head in disbelief as he leisurely began to load another bolt into his crossbow. Skilled Lord Lloyd, when did you grow a spine?
What do I have to fear from you? I am Lloyd von Sanctus, the Duke of Commerce and Master of Abjuration. So come on! It's time you learned your place, you wretch!
For the first and last time in his life, Lloyd von Sanctus stood his ground. Oh, he's gonna die! Oh no.
Come on, just tell us the truth, Pierce.
You are the last person I would give this information to.
He was getting more and more stressed, and it was even easier than last time. Just a little more and I would... A crash rang out from outside. What was that?
I'm gonna take a look. Stay here and keep the door closed.
What? Are you just going to leave us here?
He's right, I don't know. We don't know what's going on.
We should stay together.
Don't worry, there are 2 guards outside, and they're from the King's Guard. You'll be fine.
That's not what I'm worried about.
Trust me, Tyrion. When have I ever lost a fight?
She had a point. No, please don't do this to me. Fine, just be careful.
Yeah.
What?
Don't do this to me, I swear to God. It had been almost 10 minutes since Elise went to investigate the noise. I wanted to open the door and check on her, but she told me to keep the door closed. Last time I disobeyed her orders, I got taken hostage and made her job 10 times more difficult. Pierce seemed extremely on edge. He was sitting at one of the tables and impatiently tapped it on the wood with his fingers. So you never intend to send the letter to me. Who did you send it to then?
Oh, as if I would ever tell you that.
Luckily for me, he had accumulated enough stress by now.
What? Why are you looking at me like that?
Even if I wasn't the intended recipient, you said you knew who Celise's biological parents were. Who are they?
Ugh, you seriously focused on that? It's far too important. It's my only bargaining chip.
One last push. Answer the question, Pierce, or I'll reveal this letter to...
What was that?
Somnia.
What? What is this?
A blue luminous vapor spilled into the room. It glittered with faint glints of magical light. As soon as it fell over me, I could feel my entire body becoming heavier. No! I started to slump over. My body was being pulled toward the ground.
A sleep spell!
Not good!
I miscalculated.
Not good.
No. If they got here, that means... Please.
I fought with everything I had to stay awake, but it was impossible. My eyes were closing on their own. It felt like my eyelids were being dragged down. I felt myself fade away, but I made one last desperate attempt to keep my eyes open.
No. Beatrice.
I was drifting in sleep, but I soon heard a voice echoing in the distance.
Rian,
Okay, thank God, Celeste.
Tyrion.
What? Celeste?
Tyrion, I'm so sorry. I should have listened to you. I should have never left you alone with him.
Hey, it's okay. Tears were streaming down her face. I'd only ever seen her like this one other time. I held her head tightly up against my chest. She was practically clinging to me, shuddering with each sob. I just stayed quiet and embraced her as she cried in relief. How long was I out? I scanned the... Why is there a body in here? Realizing there were other people here with us. Commander White was leading a group of knights. They all had their weapons drawn and were surrounding someone who was lying unconscious in the room with us. It was Steelwind.
Commander, I understand your position, but there has to be another explanation. Look, Your Majesty, I feel about the same way you do. But there has to be a case of mage blight.
Oh, no. Are you going to try and say that Steelwind was affected by Mage Blight? And that she's... Oh, no. Wait, who died, though? I looked around the room and saw pooled blood at the end of one of the tables. There was even a chalk outline around it already. Was it Pierce? A horrible realization came over me. Where's Pierce? Celeste, where's Pierce? She just looked away from me, tears welling up in her eyes again.
I don't know how to tell you this, kid, but he's dead.
Great! What?
Honestly, consider yourself lucky you're in one piece. Whatever you're paying the mage girl, it's not enough.
But who... I looked at the knights who had all their weapons pointing at the prosecutor.
You think Steelwind did this?
It wasn't just Lord Pierce, Mr. Cuthbert. We also found the bodies of Lord Von Sanctus and Lady Sybil.
They're both dead!
It's a triple murder.
All of us were attacked, and several members of the King's Guard have gone comatose. I don't want to believe it, but several people saw Steelwind acting off at the scenes of each of the murders. We also found her unconscious here.
Fuck. This is terrible. On the bright side, I guess we're not dealing with Tyrion or Celeste being in trouble, but why Steelwind?
Pierce's body was lying next to her.
No, it wasn't her! I saw Beatrice before I passed out. She was the one that knocked us out.
Beatrice! What the hell's going on?
Suddenly, the knights surrounding Steelwind began shouting. It looks like the prosecutor had regained consciousness. Arya rose limply, still half asleep. Her body was swaying as if it were taking all of her energy to sit upright. Her eyes slowly scanned the room, noticing the knights who were surrounding her with their weapons drawn. She then noticed the blood on the floor. Her eyes became wide. She quickly raised the palms of her hands. Her gloves were dirty and rimmed.
Commander White, you need to put me in a holding cell.
No, you didn't do it. It's bullshit.
It needs to be the one with an anti-magic field.
What?
I'm not in control of my actions. We need to go now.
Bullshit. Someone's making and you do this. What are you talking about?
Now's not the time. Do it, Commander.
Right.
She lay down flat on the ground, placing her hands on her head. Even in her own arrest, she was taking the lead. I watched as the Inquisition placed a pair of manticles around her wrist. We exchanged glances before she left the room. She just looked down, defeated.
Bullshit. She didn't kill him. Why would she? Damn it all. What happened?
I know you have many questions, Mr. Cuthbert, but we should make sure that you're okay.
Yeah, there's a necromancer and a knave.
I still had no idea what happened while I was asleep, but I could feel weariness still holding my body. They both helped me up. I made a note of the current time. It was 3:12 p.m.
What the fuck?
Shit hit the fan real bad. Yeah! Oh, hey, it's a cool guy. That, or you could call him the very edgy guy. I'm not sure. Anyways, I was so enraptured with the story stuff that I neglected to even read what I got. So let's fix that. Beatrice's actions. I saw Beatrice Frigg as I was losing consciousness. I only saw her for a brief moment, so it could have been an illusion. Regardless, that meant that she somehow entered the prayer room at 2:30 p.m. This is going to be other... Hang on, let me read the other thing before I say what I was going to say. We got sleep, conjuration, insomnia, an outstretched palm while concentrating. The caster conjures a magical mist in the direction that they stretch their palm. This magical mist will travel up to 30 feet before dissipating. Any creature who inhales the mist will fall into a magical slumber. An affected creature will be awoken from their slumber if they are violently shaken or experience any sort of pain. Alright, we've got one hell of a case going on here. First off, we have 3 people dead because of this. Pierce. There's Von Sanctus and Sybil. All 3 of these people died. We saw the scene where We saw the scene where both Stibble and Von Sanctus were getting chased by what looked like Arya and some other assassin. The assassin was the one that actually did the killing, it seemed, because they were using the crossbow. It seemed more like Arya was simply a following, or like whoever was looking like Arya. Okay. Mage Blight. Arya's under the assumption that she really did it, and that she was under Mage Blight when it happened. 3 people died, and apparently Arya was seen at all 3 murders. But how? There had to have been a lot of spells used in this, I feel. From illusions, maybe even teleporting, and of course, whatever... Oh boy. Oh boy. I arrived back at the nave, meeting with the necromancer they were talking about. I couldn't stay still, not after discovering what had happened while I was asleep. He only reprimanded me, telling me that I wouldn't be any good to anyone if I collapsed from an unseen injury. I couldn't really argue against that.
Nothing seems to be out of the ordinary. Except...
What's wrong with him?
If you would just let me finish... There appears to be a trace of necromancy on you, Mr. Cuthbert.
Necromancy?
It's probably nothing. Did your assistant cast any spells on you?
Oh, right. I used men wounds on him when I found him unconscious.
I expected as much, but it never hurts to make sure. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. You're quite healthy.
Celise breathed a sigh of relief as she went to sit down at one of the benches near the altar. She took a deep breath, allowing the knots in her shoulder to unravel. She sat there for a while, eyes staring into space, waiting for the feeling to pass.
Seems like the only thing that hit you was that sleep spell. Consider yourself lucky. She didn't even think to check you before trying to heal you. I'd expect a bodyguard to keep it more level-head.
I just narrowed my eyes at him and said nothing.
But I guess no one is ever prepared for when things like these happen. I definitely wasn't. You should be fine to go about your business, but feel free to speak with me again if you experience anything out of the ordinary.
Thank you.
I'm Lord Lazaric Asclepius of House Asclepius.
Lazaric Asclepius, a nobleman, the young head of House Asclepius, a noble house known for their knowledge and studies in necromancy, seems to be friends with Leifa Freyja. He was wrapped in a large cloak. Every part of him was covered except his face. At first, I found him to be a bit too blunt and standoffish, but it seemed to come from a place of caring. When he checked my body for injuries, his hands and eyes moved efficiently and not carelessly. He looked like someone who was passionate about his work and nothing else.
And there are no thanks needed. My apprentice apparently owes you a lot.
Oh! You mean Wallace? Apprentice?
Wallace Nightgrave. He said he was one of your clients a few months ago.
Oh, right. Steelin did mention she introduced you to. Speaking of, I'm finding it difficult to believe that she did this.
Mage blight isn't exactly a benign condition. When it takes hold of a mage, it doesn't matter what kind of person they were. Violent behavior is almost always the result of the rage-filled delirium it puts them in. It's unfortunate, but mages have to be held responsible when cases like this happen.
Unless someone is framing her.
Tyrion, I fought her.
What do you mean?
What? Do you remember back when you heard that weird sound? I went outside to see what was going on. I saw her standing over a bunch of unconscious guards. I tried to ask her what was going on, but she didn't say anything. She just attacked me.
There's gotta be some really high-level magic going on. Because the only other thing I can think of is, what if if this really was Arya? I saw her eyes. She didn't even have pupils in her eyes. She was clear. Either that wasn't really Arya, or something was taking control of her. I refuse to believe that she'd do it, even with Mage Blight. Besides, what would have caused her to have Mage Blight? Mage Blight, I thought they said that Mage Blight was caused by potentially using magic too much. What could she have done that would cause it? Remind me, what is her school again? Her arcane art is evocation. And why would she... What is going on?
She was so cold and motionless. It almost looked like she was sleepwalking.
That's actually pretty strange.
What do you mean?
When someone is affected by mage blight, they enter a state of extreme psychosis and rage. Psychotic episodes like that raise the affected mage's paranoia to ridiculous levels.
That's why these cases almost always end in violence. From what Sleece said, she wasn't acting psychotic. She was completely emotionless. You might be onto something, Mr. Cuthbert. If what you're saying is true, there has to be more to this.
What are you gonna do?
At the very least, we need to find out what actually happened.
Be Sora, right? Commander White, you need to put me in a holding cell. It needs to be a one with an anti-magic field.
What?
I'm not in control of my actions. We need to go now. She wanted them to arrest her.
Did she somehow know that she's under control? But something else was happening here. With who died, this felt far too coincidental to be a simple accident. I wasn't sure where each of the murders occurred, but the Inquisition could tell me more about what happened. There was also Steelwind. If she was really affected by Mage Blight, she would remember what may have caused it. Exactly. I stood up. There was work to be done, and it was about time I ended my sabbatical. Let's get to it, shall we? I'm not letting Steelwind go. Here we go. Final case. What do you know about him? We've already seen all that. The rows upon rows of seats for worshippers to sit at. Full capacity. Altar at the inner room. We already saw all that before.
Preparing Arcanum.
I don't see no magic in here. There's still so many unknowns. We should continue looking for more clues.
Don't push yourself too hard, okay?
I'll be fine. I'm making sure to pace myself. We have to figure out what could have Steelwind almost seems convinced that she did it. Judging by the way that she said she wanted to be put in an anti-magic field, she had to have been under some sort of, like, mind control or something. But of course, an anti-magic field would help in preventing that. But how would she know she was in it, like, being controlled? Where do you think we should go next? Sleece?
Oh, sorry. Did you say something?
She's probably still shaken up over what happened. It'd be best to take the lead and let her focus on her job. Alright, we have got chaos, chaos, and more chaos. Let's go to the dungeons. We arrived at the dungeon to speak with Steelwind, but we didn't see her anywhere. The Inquisition and the King's Guard must be processing her. Come back later. Magical lock. Lit torches. Window.
Preparing Arcanum.
No Madge. Oh boy. Go to the prayer room. And why would they not kill Well, actually, no. I think it's going to be pretty obvious that the main orchestrator of all of this is Eris. Eris is the one who's orchestrated all of this, obviously, I feel. So, I was going to ask, why would they not kill Tyrion? But I think I actually already know the answer. According to what Beatrice said, Heavensborn are basically, like, guaranteed, almost guaranteed to go to heaven. Heavensborn are almost guaranteed to go to heaven, according to what Beatrice said. However, there was as the time where Beatrice said that if we tried to go against a demonic pact. Oh. Wait, oh. Eris is infatuated with Tyrion. Eris really wants to have Tyrion. But how would Eris ensure that she gains ownership over Tyrion? What if she made an impossible case with a demonic pact? Because of Tyrion being a Heavensborn, and Eris being what seems to be some kind of devil, or demon or whatever, when both die, neither would see each other ever again. Tyrion would go to heaven, Eris go to hell. But if Eris could somehow drag Tyrion with her, But the only way to do that, because Tyrion's a Heavensborn, would be through a demonic... By having a demonic pact basically be failed to, be proven false or whatever. If that's the case... If that's the case, then that makes a strange question, then. Assuming a demonic pact is involved in all of this so that Eris can try and drag Tyrion to hell, then what are the conditions of that contract and how, like, who signed them? Evidently, it would seem... No, it should be obvious who signed them. It would have to have been an Arya, but Arya would never... I doubt Arya would want to... Arya wouldn't want to do that, though. I need more information. We arrived at the prayer room. It was now swarming with knights from the Inquisition. Always suspicious of Eris, such slander. Until I stop seeing those glitch effects, I'm always going to be suspicious of her. I found myself staring at the chalk outline where Pierce's body once was.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Now is not the time for an existential crisis. Steelwind's future counted on us figuring out what happened. The Inquisition believed that Steelwind broke into this room, knocked out Pierce and me, and then killed him. But I remembered it clearly. I saw Beatrice before I lost consciousness. There was something else happening here. Celeste also fought Steelwind after Beatrice knocked me out. She could tell me more about how she was acting. Oh, this is one hell of a case already. Let's examine the room first. 3 stained glass windows look quite nice. There are lanterns hanging around the room. They're still lit. There's a chalk outline where Pierce's body probably was. Looks like he was sitting against this altar when he died. You know, I just had a worrying thought. It just now occurred to me that Arya is going to be the suspect, right? If Arya's the suspect, who's going to be the prosecutor? This bloodstain seems to imply that the fatal wound came from his chest. An autopsy report would really be helpful here. I need to ask Commander for a copy of it next time I saw him. I need a lot of freaking copies.
Arcane!
Oh, what the world? Whoa.
There are traces of conjuration magic all over the room.
Must have been left by Beatrice's sleep spell. I can't see. Woe be upon you, blue flashbang. The fight was Steelwind. Let's review what happened. Before Beatrice knocked me out, we heard a commotion outside, and you went to investigate. Can you tell me more about your fight with Steelwind? What was she like?
Well, she wasn't like her usual self. It was like she was in some kind of daze. I noticed that even before she attacked me, something was wrong with her. She didn't even respond when I tried to talk to her. It's like she didn't even recognize me.
From what Lord Asclepius said, she would have been acting more erratically if she had been affected by Mage Blight. It's possible that you fought someone disguised as her.
I guess that's possible. I sparred with her before, and this was definitely different. But whoever they were, their magic was still extremely powerful. And several members of the 4 pillar houses were assembled here.
It could have been one of them. We should speak with Commander White when we get the chance. The Grand Cathedral was closed to the public for whatever was happening here. They probably have a list of everyone who was present when the murders happened. This meant that whoever did this was one of the nobles who was here today. No, it wasn't. Beatrice Frege. Beatrice can cast invisibility, so I doubt she'd let you see her. But did you see her at any point when you were fighting Steelwind? Sleaze?
Sorry, I don't know. I was too focused on staying alive.
I've actually been meaning to ask you about that. Aren't you really strong? Yeah. Celeste is making it sound like she had struggled to stay alive. But that's weird. She's always been the most powerful person we've seen. Who was she fighting if even she was having struggle? I've never seen you break a sweat in a fight before.
Well, she was really tough. It was terrifying, honestly. I've sparred with her before, but never with magic. I never fought someone with spells that powerful before.
She didn't hurt you, did she?
No, but it got pretty close. I think she realized that she couldn't beat me, so she just ran past me and into the prayer room.
So her real target was Pierce, but why? Did you see the moment she murdered Pierce?
No, when I arrived at the prayer room, I saw you and Steele unconscious on the ground. Pierce was already dead.
And I'm assuming you didn't see Beatrice anywhere.
No, she wasn't there when I arrived.
How'd you leave the prayer room without Sleece noticing? Did she turn herself invisible? During the afternoon of the murder, Sleece and McCoy heard a suspicious sound and investigated the hallway leading to the prayer room. There she saw Arya steal and fighting the guards. Arya didn't respond to Sleece's questions and attacked her as well. The two fought to a standstill and Arya pushed past her. When Sleece arrived at the prayer room, she found Tyrion and Arya unconscious and Pierce was already dead. She didn't see Beatrice Frigga at any point during the altercation. Timeline. We showed up at the prayer room for the meeting at 1:50 p.m. Then we interrogated Pierce for about half an hour. That's when we heard the commotion outside and you went to investigate it.
Right.
And I think Beatrice knocked me and Pierce out 10 minutes after that. How long did you fight Steelwind before she pushed past you?
We definitely fought for a while. It must have been at least 20 minutes. After that, she gave up on fighting me and ran to the prayer room.
Which means that Beatrice somehow got into the room during your fight. That discounts my theory of her disguising herself as Steelwind. I regained consciousness at 3:12 p.m. That meant that I was knocked out for more than 40 minutes. There are still a lot of unknowns about what happened. I need all the pieces if I want to set the board. Hey, are you okay?
What do you mean?
You've been a little shaken up since the murders.
When I saw you lying next to Pierce's body, I thought you were...
Sorry, I didn't mean to worry you so much. But I'm okay now. I'm not hurt.
Yeah, I know.
No. What can you tell me about? Nope. Is there anything else in here?
Repario Arcanum.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, right. There's a trace of transmutation here. It's all over the area around his body.
Interesting. Did the murderer wound him using a transmutation spell? Weird. Why is there transmutation magic? Is there anything else? Not that I know of. Anyways, it looks like I found everything I could. It's time to move. Oh boy. Let's go to the nave. Never mind. Let's go to the comet. Oh my god. What the fuck happened here? What happened? It looked like a nuke went off in here. What happened? In what manner did you kill Von Sanctus? Or Sybil or one of them? Did you freaking, like, cast meteor or something? What did you do? What happened here? This just seems a little excessive, don't you think? We retraced our footsteps and found the common room. This was the last place I'd seen Von Sanctus and Sybil before everything happened. I looked around. The once pure white room was completely scorched. Just some minor renovations. I think we have very different definitions of the word minor. I feel like, I don't know. I can still smell the scent of burnt cloth and flesh in the air. What happened here?
There's some kind of fire?
Yeah, we think the perp let it fire using magic. As we entered the room, Commander White waved us over. Hey, buddy. He's accompanied by his usual legion of knights. Commander White. Hey, kid. You investigating what happened here, too? We just want to figure out what really happened. You and me both. Nothing about this makes any damn sense. I could honestly really use your help in trying to figure this out. I wasn't sure who I could trust at this point, but like always, the commander was leading the investigation. The one person that I definitely can't trust is Eris, and the one person I definitely can trust is Celise. I can trust Celise, and I will never trust Eris. The trust Eris is hubris. There's scorch marks all over the room. The fire must have spread pretty far.
Yeah, it's probably going for a while. No one even noticed until Pierce Alaric told the Kingsguard that he saw smoke.
Interesting. We should speak with him and see if he saw anything else. I saw... Wait, oh yeah, there we go. Even now, the sunlight is shining through the stained glass windows. It looks like the fire reached them before it was put out. There's a chalk outline in the center of the room. This must be where they found Von Sanctus's body. Damn, Von Sanctus! There's even bits of ash here. Must be burnt remnants of his body. Damn, Von Sanctus! You, in your final moments, you actually grew a conscious and, like, became a decent-ish person in your final moments, and you were rewarded with being hit with meteor. Damn, boy. That's rough. Yeah, I can't... What in the world?
There are traces of evocation in a bunch of different spots around the room.
I think some oil from the lanterns got knocked over during the massacre. The bird must have lit it on fire with some evocation spells. We don't know if they did it on purpose or accidentally. And the Kingsguard used a bunch of water-based evocation spells to put it out before the fire spread.
Makes sense. With that knowledge in mind, there's nothing out of the ordinary here. What's this, though?
There's trace of evocation magic near the body.
I wonder if the murder hit him with an evocation spell.
There's a trace of abjuration magic in the center of the room.
Okay. That makes sense considering Lloyd's specialty was abjuration magic. Do the traces overlap with the body?
Kind of. It's sort of square-shaped.
Square-shaped. I can't see the traces, but there seems to be a square-shaped outline around the body.
You're right. They overlap perfectly.
The area inside the square is a lot less burnt now that I look at it. I'm not sure what this means yet, but it's definitely worth taking note of. There are traces of abjuration magic that form a perfect square around the body. The area within the square seems far less burnt. This must have been... I don't know what kind of spells of abjuration Lloyd could have used, but evidently whatever he used was able to cover himself for a little bit before it was overwhelmed by the flames. It didn't last forever, but it at least lasted enough to where the fires could be put out before it caused the same amount of damage everywhere else has. Alright, let's look at this.
Kid, why?
It's my...
I know! It's your attorney's runestone and it proves you're a certified attorney. I got it the last 100 times you waved this thing in my face.
Well, too bad.
So, Pierce got off too. Not that it changes much. His execution was scheduled for next month anyway.
It was clear she had many conflicting emotions about what happened. When this was all over, I wanted to give her a break from guarding me. Oh. What do you think about this, Commander White?
Sorry, kid. I don't got much to say.
Nothing on Beatrice?
Huh. I see you're still working with the mage girl.
I have a name, you know.
Save it, sweetheart. You may have everyone else fooled, but we've seen today what mages like you are capable of.
Well, lucky for you, Celeste and I are here to help you in sorting out this mess.
Yeah. Just tell her to keep her magic under control. We need answers, not more fireworks.
Don't be mean.
What about spells? Shape liquid. Sleep.
Trouble seems to follow you wherever you go, kid.
I can't help it. Sometimes I feel like I'm the one who goes looking for it.
Well, you certainly found it. It's a real miss this time.
You think I want this to happen?
Man, Steelwind has gotten herself in the middle of a real mess this time.
I know. This whole situation is unbelievable.
Yeah, none of it makes sense.
None of it makes sense indeed. Same dialogue. Where is Ruby in all of this? Ruby is just gone. I'm honestly very surprised. I really did think that Ruby was going to be killed. So I'm honestly very surprised. Although... I actually got a worrying feeling there may be a specific reason why Ruby is not here. Ruby might not be here because she's involved in the murder plot. Evidently, there's a lot more going on with Ruby and Eris, I think. So I think it's possible that Ruby might also have to listen to Eris. I don't know all the details, but...
So, Von Sanctus is actually dead. Honestly, I'm not going to lose any sleep over him. Serves him right for what he and Frigga tried to do.
Even so, a dangerous murderer is on the loose. Neither of us can relax until we catch them and put them away.
You're always working, huh?
Someone has to.
Can't believe someone just off the Minister of Justice.
Her family is responsible for the justice system. Have you met her before?
Only in passing. Whenever I did talk to her, she'd always say kooky things about the universal balance or some kind of hooey like that. Frankly, I could never understand a word she said.
Lucio. At this point, that means that Lucio Steelwind is the only member of is the only head of the four pillars that's still alive. All the other ones are dead now. William's dead, Von Sanctus is dead, and Sybil's dead now. It's just Lucio now. Nothing on Alric. Nothing on Beatrice. Nothing on him. Okay. Already did the examination. Let's do the talking. The murders.
This whole situation's a damn mess.
Has the Inquisition found any clues to explain what happened?
We haven't exactly had a lot of time. We only just received the autopsy reports.
They're still pretty useful. Do you have copies?
Sure, knock yourselves out.
Okay, for Garrett Pierce. Died at 2:45 p.m. in the prayer room. Cause of death was blood loss. A shard of frozen liquid was found stabbed through his heart. It is very likely that this was the murder weapon. The wound also shows heavy traces of transmutation magic, and traces of conjuration magic were found throughout the room. We know that the conjuration likely came from the sleep spell. The transmutation magic is different, though. That's from... so... it just now occurred to me. How ironic. Garrick Pierce himself killed Celise's father using a blade made out of tea that he used his magic with, and now he's been killed in a similar way. Goes around, comes around, I guess. For Coraline Sybil, died at 2:18 p.m. Cause of death was suffocation. Her body was found floating in a nearby lake outside of the Grand Cathedral. Traces of transmutation, evocation, and necromancy magic were found in the body. Transmutation, evocation, and necromancy. Strange. And then finally for Lloyd, died at 2:05 p.m. The cause of death was suffocation. The fire in the common room burnt the body too much to discern any specific wounds he might have suffered. However, a small trace of evocation magic and a burn mark were found on the victim's left shoulder. This implies the body was hit with a fire-based evocation spell. Traces of abjuration magic were found on and around the body. The abjuration makes sense because he was just using his abjuration spells to protect himself. The evocation is whoever summoned the evocation is more interesting, though. Wait, Pierce was killed with a frozen blade. Yeah, it's ironic. He killed someone with frozen blade, and now he got killed by one. Isn't that similar to how he killed Flintheart McCoy? Sorry, I didn't mean to...
No, it's okay.
I can imagine a scenario where a struggle happened and the killer used whatever was nearby. However, it still felt like a convoluted series of events. That felt intense. I don't know. The Inquisition found a frozen blade impaling Garrett Pierce through his heart. There were traces of transmutation on his blood. This implies that the murderer used shaped liquid to create this blade and murder him, which is oddly similar to how Pierce murdered Flintheart McCoy. But why would the murderer do this when they clearly had more lethal spells at their disposal? Pierce used this method during Flintheart's murder to leave as little evidence as possible. However, it's clear the murderer wanted to frame Arya and leave as much evidence as possible. Anyways, the times of death are also tell story. Yeah, I want to actually take a look at that again. Garrick died at 2:45 p.m., Sybil at 2:18, and Lloyd at 2:05. So Lloyd died first, then Sybil, and then Garrick. Lloyd, Sybil, and... So, assuming that's the case, some things would also have to stay consistent then. If Lloyd died first, then that means the fire happened before the other two deaths. Sybil dying next, it was super soon after. It was only, what, 13 minutes after? 13 minutes after Lloyd's death, Sybil was also killed. Oh, it just now occurs to me something else that's weird. We saw the cutscene before about Von Sanctus and Sybil being attacked. Sybil got shot with a crossbow. Or she got shot with an arrow or something. She should have had the body should have had the arrow or crossbow in her shoulder still. So I think that might explain why the necromancy magic was on her body. It's likely that the necromancy was used in order to repair the wound caused by the bolt. As for the transmutation and evocation magic, her death was also caused by suffocation. Finally, Garrick's body was there. Garrick died at 2:45 p.m. Oh, wait a minute. Beatrice's actions, regardless, that meant that she somehow entered the prayer room at 2:30 p.m. If she entered at 2:30 p.m., but Garrick died at 2:45 p.m., there were 15 minutes between when this between the two, when we were forced to sleep and when Garrick died. Purely based on the times of death, the murderer must have killed Von Sanctus, then Sybil, then Pierce, in that order.
Yeah, that's our working theory too.
If we look at this map, we can see where the prayer room and the common room are. Lady Sybil's body was found in the lake west of here. The Grand Cathedral is built on a cliff. There would only be one way to reach the lake in such a short amount of time. How'd Sybil's body end up in the lake? Would the murderer have thrown Sybil's body from the balcony? The Grand Cathedral is built on a cliff over the lake, and the westward balcony just happens to be right over it.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. We even have a witness who saw Steelwind there.
Really? Who was it?
It was High Speaker Theon Arceus.
High Speaker.
He's a shot caller of the Church of Bahamut, and he stands at the top of the religious hierarchy from what I hear. He spotted Steelwind near the west balcony and noticed that she was acting suspiciously. He called out to her, but she ignored him.
So she knew that he saw her, but she didn't attack him.
Yeah, this whole Mage Blight story doesn't really add up.
Either way, we'll just have to talk to him directly to find out more. Putting that aside, there's something else that's strange.
What's that?
It's about the order that the murders occurred in. What's strange about the order of the murder? From the times of death, the murderer must have killed Von Sanctus, Sybil, and Pierce, in that order. This means that the murder went to the common room, then the west balcony, and finally the prayer room. But if we look at the map, the murder's route seems a bit strange. Okay, so remind me. Sanctus, Sybil, and Pierce. Common room, west balcony, and prayer room. Oh. They would have just walked right past the prayer room, wouldn't they?
What if...
The murderer could have killed Pierce second. The murderer must have passed right by the prayer room before they dumped Sybil's body. Yeah. With the way that it's laid out, it would have been easier for the murderer to just kill Pierce for a second and then follow after Sybil. Why wouldn't they just murder Pierce on the way there?
Maybe they want to dump Sybil's body first.
But they were afraid of fighting me.
Aren't you giving yourself a little too much credit?
No, she has a point. Out of everyone who fought the murderer, Sleece was the only one who didn't die or fall comatose. Anyways, there has to be a reason why the murderer deliberately chose that route. Judging from each time of death, the murder went from the common room to the balcony and then to the prayer room, in that order. However, that wasn't the most direct route. There has to be an explanation. I created a rough outline of the murder's actions. The real clues would lie on how each of the individual murders occurred. First, I need to figure out how Von Sanctus was murdered. How were the bodies discovered? When did they discover the bodies? Who came across them?
It all started when Prince Alaric ran up to us. He told us that he saw fire breaking out in the common room. He also saw Steelwind there, but when he tried to talk to her, she had him with some kind of spell.
She attacked one of the princes?
What kind of spell?
Yeah, but it didn't sound like she hurt him. Lord Asclepius inspected him, and he told us he wasn't injured.
I'm glad that he's okay, but wouldn't Arya have used a more violent spell if she was afflicted by Mage Blight? That's true. If she was truly as insane from Mage Blight as claimed, then why wouldn't she just immediately kill the kid? Evidently, she wouldn't have been in her right mind, right?
It's possible she was throwing spells randomly, and he just happened to get really lucky.
Do you really believe that? I suppose that's possible, but was there anyone else nearby when this happened? I would have expected the Prince of Wyverngard to be under constant guard.
Yeah, that was kind of my mistake.
Orem!
I ordered the knights to give him some space, considering what just happened.
And that would be?
Sorry, kid. If you don't know, it's not my place to tell you. I have orders from the top to stay quiet about that.
Then I would need to ask someone higher up. It was still strange, though. Why were all these nobles gathered here?
Anyways, whatever the perp hit him with, they only put him in a daze. He could barely walk or talk. He couldn't even approach us until the spell had worn off.
Really?
The weirdest thing about it was that he should have been pretty close to where we were. For some reason, we didn't find him until after the spell wore off.
It must have been traumatic. I hope he's okay. Why didn't anyone see him during this time? What was he inflicted with?
After he told us about what was happening, we went to put out the fires. And that's when we saw a bunch of guards knocked out outside the prayer room.
Did you see me?
No, this all happened around 3:10 p.m.
Right, that was probably well after Steelwind moved into the prayer room. Sleece must have already followed her into it. The Inquisition discovered something was wrong when Alaric de Wyverngard reported that a fire had broken out in the common room. He also told them that Arya Steelwind cast a spell on him earlier that severely debilitated his senses. When the Inquisition arrived at the scene, they spotted the unconscious guards outside the prayer room. They did not see Celise McCoy and Arya Steelwind. This all happened at 3:10 p.m. Okay. The comatose guards, what's happened with them? When you arrested Steelwind, I recall you mentioning that a bunch of the guards were comatose. Did the murderer use some kind of spell to knock them out?
They didn't. I'm just as lost as you are about that. Some of the victims didn't have any magical traces on them. We know that they're not under the effects of the spell, but they still haven't woken up.
So why are they not waking up? That's odd to say the least. Is there any common thread between the knights who fell comatose? That might help us deduce what happened to them.
Well, we found all of them near the common room and the prayer room. All the locations where Steelwind was spotted. That can't be coincidence.
So it wasn't random, yet it wasn't the effect of an arcane spell. Several knights from the Kingsguard were found unconscious after the bodies were found. They have been unresponsive since the massacre, and due to a lack of magical traces, they're clearly not being affected by any kind of arcane spell. Could it be some kind of substance? Could they have been like hit with something that's making them stay comatose? Arya Steelwind. Commander White, you keep saying the perp instead of Steelwind, even though everyone else seems to think she was responsible for this. Do you also suspect that she's being framed?
It just doesn't add up. If she did give herself Maze Blight, her actions wouldn't have been so deliberate.
And she's definitely not the type of person to just go around murdering people. That's also true. He's got a point. It feels like even though it definitely seems like Arya was like not in her right mind or whatever, at the same time, it feels like, I don't know, something just doesn't feel right. The actions didn't feel like the actions of a psychopath. Or like, not, sorry, let me rephrase that. They didn't feel like the actions of someone who's gone on, like, completely absurdly insane, who's just attacking at random. They feel like an order, like it's done in a specific way, which doesn't seem to match up with what we're hearing about Mage Blight.
Even if she was, she's led a lot of the Inquisition's investigations recently. She's investigated plenty of homicides with us, and she knows exactly how we do things. Whoever did this got the job done, but they were sloppy about it. A bunch of witnesses saw her. She didn't even try to hide herself using magic. So either she had Mage Blight, which doesn't match with her behavior, or she did this intentionally and wanted to get caught. Neither scenario makes any damn sense.
Someone has to be framing her. That's the only reasonable explanation.
Honestly, I'm not so sure about that either.
What do you mean?
You saw her when we arrested her, didn't you? She wanted us to lock her up. It's like she thought she was a danger to herself and others.
She likely knew that something was wrong with her. I'm starting to now feel like it was actually Arya that attacked people. But Arya wasn't trying to intentionally attack people. She was under control of something. But the question is, how did she become controlled? And evidently, whatever it was that took control of her also seemingly made her more powerful. Considering it even made Celeste have trouble dealing with her. So assuming that assuming that... But what would control her? Right, that's the same impression I got as well.
If it weren't for the witness's statements, I'd be sure she gave herself Mage Blight. The strange thing is that I've never seen her that scared before. Something really rattled her about what happened.
What about Beatrice? Did you follow up on what I said about Beatrice? I know she was in the room when Pierce and I fell unconscious. She has to be involved in this somehow.
Well, she's already in prison, so we're already ahead on that count. But when we asked her about what happened, she said she couldn't remember anything.
That's such an obvious lie. She has to be hiding something.
Normally I'd agree with you, but she's not the only one with missing memories. Steelwind also can't remember anything.
What? I just have to speak with her about it later. Anyways, what about Eris and the knight who was guarding her? Did they see anything?
Sorry, kid, but Eris Ilmater's been missing ever since everything went down. Find her! Find the demon! And exorcise her from this realm of reality! Now!
Find the demon! What?
I wouldn't be too worried.
Witness to the crime is missing and possibly hurt.
Look, kid, you may be a hotshot attorney, but I've been in this business a lot longer than you have. Sometimes when these things happen to civilians, they get spooked and run away. I've seen it a million times.
Eris was the daughter of a crime lord. I doubt she was in any rush to speak with law enforcement.
We don't have the resources to look for her, but I'm sure she'll turn up anyway.
I suppose we can't do anything about that now. Anyways, what about the knight guarding Beatrice? Surely he didn't go missing as well.
That's the thing. The knight who was supposed to be watching her was one of the guards who went comatose. We found him in front of the prayer room, too.
Wait, did he follow Beatrice to the prayer room?
To make matters worse, that frigate chick knows how to cast invisibility. So even if she was telling the truth, very few people would have actually seen her.
Great! A knight was assigned to guard Beatrice and kill her if Marnoth attempted to escape. He was later found comatose in front of the prayer room. Eris Ilmater, who was also with Beatrice when she disappeared, has been missing since the massacre. Would you happen to have a recent version of her spell compendium?
Sure, we already have it on record.
Okay, she's got Familial Bond, Sleep, Mend Wounds, Send Message, Animate Corpse, Necrotic Blight, Shatter, Invisibility, Feign Death, and Illusory Disguise. Familial Bond we've seen before. Mend Wounds we've seen before. Send Message we've seen before. Animate Corpse we've seen before. Necrotic Blight we've seen before. Shatter. And Evocation School Magic. Kritia. No gesture and requires concentration. Channels the caster's magic into any physical object they are touching with their hands. If enough magic is channeled, the object may shatter or break. The intensity of the spell will exponentially increase while they are concentrating. However, channeling larger quantities of magic will slowly drain the caster's stamina and possibly cause Mage Blight. So it's basically you can just turn whatever you're holding into a bomb, basically. Invisibility we've seen before. Feign Death, a necromancy spell. Foul Norma incantation, no gesture, and requires concentration. The caster must target a creature that's already unconscious. While they concentrate on the spell, the target will appear to be dead. The target creature will stop breathing, and their heart will stop beating. However, the life energies of this spell will keep them alive for the duration. Not sure how that can be used, but... You already seen Illusory Disguise? Right. Forgot how many spells she used during Lord Frigga's murder. We got a lot of spells to work with now. You got any dialogue about the spells? Why do I get the feeling the evidence section of this case is going to become absurdly huge? I just have the strangest of feelings. You smile at me like this. Okay, figures he doesn't have any dialogue regarding that. The first victim, Lloyd von Sanctus. It's all a little difficult to take in. I still can't believe it. After everything he did, von Sanctus was just murdered.
I'm surprised to hear that from you. Didn't he basically get away with almost blowing up your hometown? The way I see it, he got what he deserved.
It still doesn't sit right with me. No matter who the victims might have been, no one deserves to die like that.
You're definitely a bigger man than I am.
Anyways, von Sanctus' autopsy report says that he died of suffocation.
We think the murderer overpowered him and choked him with a rope or something.
That hardly sounds like something someone would do during a psychotic episode.
Yeah, the more info I collect, the more I think you might be onto something. Fire away, the fire that the perp started in this room burned his body. His ink completely turned to ash, but there's not a lot left.
So the fire would have burned away any evidence of the minor wounds he had.
Yeah, we're lucky we even discerned he was hit with an evocation spell.
Right, the autopsy mentioned that too. But if a fire was started, is it possible that he died from smoke inhalation? I guess that's not impossible.
No, the divination spell we use always identifies smoke inhalation as death by poisoning, not death by suffocation.
Suppose that kind of makes sense. What about spell compendiums? While we're at it, do we have records of each of the victims' spell compendiums? They might help us to understand what each of the victims was doing during the attack.
Sure, knock yourselves out.
Oh god, I feel a horde of spells incoming. Pierce's spell compendium. Pierce had Prestidigitation, Conjure Light, Conjure Water, Frostwave, and Shape Liquid. Sybil's spell compendium contains Slowfall, Foresight, Strike True, Detect Magic, Stone Skin, and Mend Wounds. And Von Sanctus' spell compendium contains Mage Blade, Force Cage, Send Message, Stone Skin, Mend Wounds, Familial Bond, Teleport, and Summon. Precipitation we've seen before. Conjure Light we've seen before. Conjure Water we've seen before. Frostwave we've seen before. Force Cage, an abjuration spell, Forzare, requires you to point the index finger, lasts for an hour, but needs no concentration. For the duration, the caster creates a magical 10-foot by 10-foot by 10-foot cube around the target within 30 feet of them. The walls of this cube are impenetrable and can't be destroyed by anything, not even by spells that can normally dispel a spell effect. Furthermore, any attempts to magically teleport into or out of the cube will fail. If there is more than one creature in the target space, they will be pushed away from the center of the cube. Mage Blade, we've seen before. Wait, why did that seem different? Whatever. Slowfall. Transmutation spell, Incantation Feathera. Requires you to point index finger downward and lasts an hour with no concentration. The caster counteracts the force of gravity affecting them, causing them to fall significantly slower when airborne for the duration. Foresight, a divination spell, Forheim, incantation, requires one to form a triangle with both hands, lasts for 24 hours but needs no concentration. The caster invokes the ultimate form of divination magic to see brief glimpses of the near future. While the spell is active, the caster is able to sense danger seconds before it actually happens. Okay. Strike True, divination, non-optima, incantation. Make a circle with the fingers, and it lasts while concentrating. The caster increases their ability to predict the results of all of their actions for the duration. This is useful for the purposes of aiming or doing other activities that rely on dexterity and skill. Okay. Detect Magic, divination. Reperio Arcanum. No gesture and requires concentration. While concentrating, the caster can see the normally invisible magical traces left by magic. Magical traces are created 2 times when a spell is cast. The first is created at the position of the caster when this spell is cast. The second is created when the spell effect resolves or dissipates. The caster can identify the school of magic of any trace by color. If it's red, it's evocation. If it's yellow, it's transmutation. If it's cyan, it's conjuration. If it's pink, it's divination. If it's white, it's abjuration. If it's purple, it's necromancy. And if it's green, it's illusion. Stone skin, transmutation, hair protect. Create an X with both arms, and it lasts for 1 hour. The caster creates a thick layer of stone around the body of a target within 30 feet. The stone layer will deflect and protect the target from any physical trauma. The stone layer can be slowly broken through continuous attacks, but as long as the caster concentrates on the spell, the stone layer will instantaneously repair itself. Teleport, we've seen before. Summon, we've seen before. Okay, wow. I was about to say, oh god, what is this gonna... Oh! Oh no! Oh no! Oh god! Game, that's a lot! Oh no! Okay, wow. That's a lot to work through.
Yep, this is what happens when a bunch of mages are caught in the middle of a murder. Honestly, you've been lucky until now.
No shit, Sherlock! Nevertheless, I'll need to look over each of these spells and when they become relevant. I found everything I could relating to Von Sanctus's murder. Are you sure you want to present everything to each character? I am a determined son of a bitch. I will do it anyways. It's time to move somewhere else. I am determined. I'm not gonna do it for you though. This character though. Nothing there. The knave. I do want to see maybe if some of these have, I feel like maybe you'd have a reaction to, some of the spells that were used during your father's case. I just have to get better at moving quickly through them. That's all that means. I just gotta focus, and I can quickly go through them. I can do this. Foresight. Strike true. Detect magic. Repario Arcanum. Okay. Probably not getting anything there. Alright, let's go to the Cathedral Gardens. I was dreading having to face that statue again, but despite knowing better, I returned to the garden. It's staring into my soul.
Then stop looking at it!
Oh, there you go. Hey there, buddy. The Crown Prince was sitting at a bench nearby. Several members of the Kingsguard were standing at attention around him. His brow was furrowed. He didn't even seem to notice us until one of the knights stepped in our way.
Oh, Mr. Cuthbert, and Miss McCoy too. What are you still doing here?
We're trying to investigate what happened.
I see.
Are you okay?
Yes, I was just thinking about how unfortunate this whole deal has been. I do hope Lady Steelwind is taking this well.
Right. She was his fiancée after all. We're trying to find out what exactly happened. Do you mind if we ask you some questions?
I see. Well, I'll do whatever I can to help.
Oh. What goes through the mind of such a tortured creature?
What is with you in the statue?
I don't know, but I can feel its emotions as if they were my own.
It's an inanimate object, Tyrion.
Repario Arcanum.
I don't see anything here. Alright. Aster, get ready.
Ah, you got Tony's runestone. I was wondering when I'd be able to see it again.
Wouldn't someone like you have one too?
Oh, I have a runestone, but it's not an attorney's runestone.
I'm glad someone finally understands the difference. Letter. What do you think about this, Aster?
My apologies, Mr. Cuthbert. I don't have much to say about that.
Map? Nope.
So Lady Steelwind truly fought against Miss McCoy that day? Wasn't that day today?
If it were anyone else, I'm sure they would have never stood a chance.
Well, it looks like even House Steelin isn't strong enough to take down the Crimson Demon.
Or, sorry, that was me saying that. Looks like even House Steelin isn't strong enough to take down the Crimson Demon. Sorry, did I go too far? I was just trying to lighten the mood.
Oh, no, I'm just a little distracted. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize, it's fine. What do you think about that? No. Nothing on that.
I can't believe someone killed Lady Sybil.
Did you know her well?
Quite well. We had many debates about how her family ran the judicial system. I found them quite frustrating.
After speaking to her, I can kind of understand what you mean.
Lloyd Von Sanctus is actually dead.
Yeah, despite my feelings about him, no one deserves to be killed in cold blood like that.
If there's some silver lining to this, it's that his greed will no longer put people in harm's way.
Eh. Nothing on Garrick. Nothing on the route. Nothing on the report. Nothing about the knights. Nothing about Beatrice. Nothing about Beatrice's spell compendium. Nor Pierce's. Nor Sybil's. Nor Von Sanctus's. I'm gonna start with people and then go to spells.
I'm really quite glad we have you working on the case, Mr. Cuthbert. I feel a lot more at ease knowing that you're looking into this.
Don't thank me yet. We still need to find out what really happened.
Nevertheless, you have my gratitude. It pains my heart to see Lady Steelwind like this. I wish there was something I could do.
Why are you here? Wait, what?
Please, Mr. Cuthbert.
When was he here? When did he get here?
Please, Mr. Cuthbert, do everything you can to save her.
Are we not going to address him? That was my goal from the very beginning.
Tyrion, it's been 3 hours,
But I need to show you all the spells still. I must know. I'm still scared about Ruby's potential involvement in all this. I doubt she's not going to be involved. I completely doubt she's not going to be involved. Did I already check Leifa? I don't know if I did. Tracker. I assume, yeah. And same for... No, actually, surprisingly not. Nothing on yourself. What about your I about called him your son for some reason. That's your brother. Text log. I'm sorry about what happened to your brother. I'm sure that experience must have been traumatic for him.
Luckily, it seems that the spell was only temporary. There's no lasting damage to his body.
What about the mage? Alright, get ready, Boyle. Liquid. Sleep. Familial bond. Mend wounds. Send message. Animate corpse. Necrotic blight. Shatter. Invisibility. Feign death. Illusory disguise. Prestidigitation. Conjure light. Conjure water. Frostwave. Force cage. Mage blade. Slow fall. Foresight. Strike true. Detect magic. Repair your arcanum. Stone skin. Teleport. Summon.
Okay, nothing there. I already checked this, didn't I?
Arcanum.
Yeah, I did. Alright, let's actually talk for real this time. Steelwind's trial.
You said that you two were investigating the murders. Were you planning on defending Lady Steelwind?
If she'll have me. She may be a competent prosecutor, but I have far more experience defending clients.
Unfortunately, I think the situation is more complicated than that.
What do you mean?
Several house leaders died today. We can't release this information to the public, not after the news of William Frega's death has already spread. In the course of 2 months, we've lost not one, but 3 pillar heads.
But the trial has to happen soon, or else the medical traces left will disappear.
From what I've heard, we will be holding a trial, but it will be handled privately and internally. And I'm sorry to say that you won't be permitted to serve in such a trial.
Would you be able to pull some strings for us, Aster?
I'm sorry. I'd like nothing more than to give you the opportunity to represent her, but I clearly have a personal attachment to this case. If I try to tip the trial in her favor, it will only harm her chances.
Even if I can't directly defend her, we can still investigate the crimes on her behalf.
Yes, I would really appreciate that. If new evidence is found, perhaps we can exonerate Miss Steelwind of the charges against her.
The gathering of nobles. After everything that's happened, I really need to know. Why were so many nobles gathered in one place anyway? All 4 of the Pillar families were present. I understand if you don't want to tell me, but this information could be vital in figuring out what really happened.
The truth is that we all gathered to mourn the death of my father, King Olivia de Wyvengard IX.
Your father died. Wait, the king is dead.
So that's why Lucio called you Majesty. Because now you technically are the king. Or rather, you have to be the king.
Yes, we want to avoid releasing this information to the public so close to the death of William Frege. My father's been ill for quite some time, so we were prepared for this. Or at least I thought I was. I also lost my mother when I was quite young. But it's still all a little hard to take in.
I'm sorry. You have my condolences.
Thank you.
But if King Olivier is gone, that would make you...
Yes, you currently stand before King Aster de Wyvengard, the ruler of our kingdom.
The words came out hollow. Sounded like he was mourning more than just his late father. No wonder so many nobles were gathered here then.
They came under the guise of paying their respects, but I'm sure they just wanted to get close to the new king. Ironically, I think only House Frege came to genuinely give their condolences.
Speaking of the Fregas, I think you need to know. I saw Beatrice before I was knocked out. I think she may have been the one who killed Pierce.
Why would she be there?
Anger and shock. I'm sorry, I know she was your friend, but we already know she's not above committing murder.
I see. I suppose if you're saying it, it must be so. What possible reason would she have to be involved in something like this?
I just realized his occupation actually changed now. He's no longer prince, he's king. Nice little detail. I'm not sure yet, but I plan to find it out. Oh boy. Arya Steelwind. By the way, where were you during the murders? I remember you left with Steelwind when Celeste and I arrived at the cathedral.
Ah, yes. Steelwind and I left to speak with the High Speaker of Arceus in his quarters.
What was your meeting about?
It was actually about our wedding. With my father's death, the Grand General demanded that we make our union official.
Oh. I would congratulate you two, but considering the circumstances...
I understand, and I appreciate your words nonetheless.
Anyways, how long did this meeting last?
I believe we spoke until about 1:40 p.m. But Von Sanctus died at 2:05 p.m.
This means that she began her rampage less than half an hour after that meeting. Was there anything off about her behavior?
Now that you mention it, something about her demeanor changed. We were speaking of the wedding when she abruptly left. I asked her where she was going, but she ignored me.
Could have been that in the middle of their conversation, that was when she got taken control of. It sounds similar to what happened when Celeste fought her. So in the middle of talking with her, she suddenly just changed. In that case, Mage Blight is not an answer here. Evidently, she was... Because apparently the king is now saying that he was just talking to her and no spells were being cast. How could it have been Mage Blight when no spells were being cast? There's no way she was affected by Mage Blight. From 1:15 p.m. to 1:40 p.m., Aster Day Wyverngard and Arya Steelwind spoke with High Speaker Theon Arceus about their upcoming wedding. At 1:40 p.m., Steelwind abruptly left the meeting and didn't answer Aster when asked where she was going.
I honestly didn't think much of it at the time. I'm quite used to her giving me the cold shoulder.
Right. Yeah, that's what she gives you. What did you see? What happened after your meeting with the High Speaker? Did you see Steelwind after that?
Actually, I found myself caught up in something else entirely. At 2 p.m., I went to pay my respects at my father's coffin. But apparently someone had set a magical trap there.
Yeah, we saw that in a cutscene. For some reason, there was just a magical barrier.
What?
It was a glyph of contingency.
Glyph of Contingency, an evocation spell, Coltingen. It requires a gesture of the contingent spell, and it lasts for 24 hours. When casting the spell, the caster must choose another spell they know. The caster casts the spell, but the contingent spell doesn't come into effect. Instead, it takes effect when certain conditions specified by the caster upon casting the spell is fulfilled. The contingent spell takes effect immediately when that condition is filled.
So it's basic...
So wait, when casting a spell, the caster chooses another spell they know. The caster casts a spell, but the contingent spell doesn't come into effect. So it's basically like setting a trap. It's basically like setting a landmine or something, except it's in magic form. They choose the spell that they want to have set, like Magic Barrier or something. And then once a condition's filled, like maybe entering a certain spot, it activates. Interesting. So a condition was filled. And it created, according to the cutscene, it created a barrier. More spells!
I have heard of that spell. It's like a trap you can set. You can infuse any spell into it.
It sounds like if we're talking about a barrier, then it seems like it might have been Force Cage. One thing I wonder about Glyph of Contingency, it says it can be any spell. However, what I wonder is, what would it appear as if someone were to use Detect Magic? Would it appear as the spell that, like, was the contingent spell? Like, if, like, let's say that Abjuration was put into, like, let's say that Glyph of Contingency was storing up Force Cage. Force Cage is an Abjuration spell. So, when the spell activates, would that mean that Glyph of Contingency would appear as an Abjuration spell? Or would it spawn, but would it appear as a evocation spell? Have to go now, so you have fun with the case. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. I don't know if I'll be beating the case today, considering it seems like this is going to be a long one. But we'll probably get through maybe another 30 minutes, an hour, or something like that. But hope you have a good day.
It's like a trap you can set. You can infuse any spell into it.
It requires a contingent spell to place that trap. Which spell was it?
It was Force Cage targeting me.
Was the murder trying to attack Aster too?
I don't think so. They would have used a more lethal spell if they wanted to. From the sounds of it, Force Cage can't be dispelled. So Aster would have been trapped inside of it for the full hour.
I think that someone used this as a distraction. Because of that trap, the Kingsguild consolidated most of their attention and forces in the nave. As a result, there were fewer people guarding Von Sanctus, Sybil, and Pierce. And the ones that were there all fell comatose. They can't tell us what happened to them.
At 2 p.m., Aster Day Wyverngard went to pay his respects at his father's coffin. Unbeknownst to him, however, there was a glyph of contingency set to trap him inside a Force Cage. The trap triggered, and Aster was trapped in that magical cage for its duration. This caused the Kingsguard to consolidate their forces at Aster's location. As a result, Lloyd Von Sanctus, Coraline Sybil, and Garrett Pierce were left with fewer guards defending them. And yet another inexplicable event was added to the list. After everything I'd learned, I knew for certain that Steelwind wasn't afflicted by Mage Blight. Someone must be behind this. Anyways, he probably didn't win as much after he was trapped by that Force Cage. It was time to move somewhere else. What happens if I present the, Is Glyph of Contingency common for mages to know?
No, it's extremely useful, but it's also very advanced. It essentially involves casting two spells at the same time.
So whoever set that trap was a powerful mage.
But considering the people who are here, that hardly narrows it down.
Okay, same thing. Alright, let's move. Dungeons? Nope. The Nave? Nothing on that. Nothing on that. Nothing in here. Let's just go to the prayer room, I guess. Never mind, let's go somewhere else. West balcony. Alright, let's see what's going on here. We arrived at the west balcony of the cathedral. Supposedly, this was where the murderer threw Sybil's body into the lake. Oh, hello there. Who? Oh, you! It's been a long time since we've seen you. As I inspected the area, I caught the attention of the old man nearby. From his garb, he appeared to be someone who worked at the cathedral.
I don't believe we've met before. What are you doing here?
Sorry for the intrusion. I'm Tyrion Cuthbert, and this is my bodyguard.
We're investigating the murders on behalf of Prosecutor Steelman.
Tyrion Cuthbert. I have heard of you. He doesn't look nearly as criminal as I expected him to be.
He probably hadn't heard anything good. Oh, will he hate us considering we're from the, we have connections with celestial gods, and he's obsessed with the Scaled Lord?
But forgive my rudeness. I am Theon Orcaeus, High Speaker of the Church of Bahamut.
Theon Orcaeus, High Speaker, the devout leader of the Church of Bahamut. I don't think I've met anyone who reveres the Scaled Lord as much as he does. So you're the one who saw Steelman here during the murders. Do you mind if I ask you some questions?
I suppose there would be no harm in that.
Okay. This balcony provides a perfect view of Lake Galacrond. A lot of people probably come here when the Grand Cathedral is open to the public. There's some sort of debris on the ground. Picked up one of the pieces and rolled it around my palm. Appeared to be some kind of gravel. Weird.
Repairing Arcanum.
I figured. Yep.
Your traces transmutation on this debris.
This would imply that a spell specifically targeted or created whatever this came from. I doubt someone intentionally created these bits of gravel. It must have broken off from something else. We found some bits of Earth-like debris near the westward balcony. They have traces of transmutation magic on them. This also happens to be where Theon Arcaeus saw Arya Steelwind dumping Coraline Sybil's body. Strange. Doesn't seem like there's anything else there. You know the drill.
A runestone.
It's my attorney's runestone.
I recall the Duke of Commerce telling me about this device. Artificery is yet another gift granted to us by the Scaled Lord.
What's that smell? I feel like I smell something weird. Yeah, it's probably just me.
Artificery is yet another gift granted to us by the Scaled Lord.
But they only draw power from ley lines. Has nothing to do with Berthalion.
All arcane magic is derived from the ancient dragons. To say otherwise is sacrilege.
Did you know Lord Pierce? He was one of the victims.
I didn't know him well. Not in Salthouse Pierce, but he wasn't a noble of high standing. I never had many opportunities to speak with him.
I hope that smell's not coming from my computer, but it also doesn't smell bad. It smells like waffles?
I never had many opportunities to speak with him.
What do you think about this, High Speaker?
My apologies, but there's not much I can say about that.
Fair enough. Nothing on that. Nothing on Von Sanctus. Already checked that. Did you know Coraline Sybil? She was the head of one of the four pillar families.
I did. It's quite unfortunate what happened to her. One of the 4 families, I felt that House Sybil was the one most loyal to the church.
For better or for worse. Did you know Lloyd von Sanctus? He was the head of House von Sanctus.
Yes, I knew him well. We often worked together in matters of enterprise.
Why would the church need to discuss matters of enterprise?
Perhaps I've already said too much.
Strange. Stop talking about Pierce. I think I also... What do you think about this? Nothing about the report. Nothing about the Comatose Knights. Nothing about Beatrice. Nothing about that spell compendium. Nothing about that one. Nothing about that one. Nothing about that one.
I do hope the allegations against Miss Stewin are false. She and His Majesty looked so happy this morning.
Right. The King of Wyverngard can't exactly marry a serial murderer.
She was the most resilient person I knew, but the possibility of losing her engagement with Aster probably weighed heavily on her mind.
Oh.
Nothing about the Trapped King. Do you know where this debris came from?
I have no idea. The groundskeepers are very diligent in keeping the Grand Cathedral clean, especially today.
Which means this debris must have fallen here recently. So you have heard of me, High Speaker.
I have. He's not what I was expecting.
You shouldn't believe every story you hear from the aristocracy.
I don't know what you mean.
Wait, I for some reason thought it was the same.
I can't believe Lady Steelman would do something like this. But I can't really doubt what I saw with my own eyes. Why was he acting so strangely?
There's more of this than we're all seeing, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of it.
For her sake, I hope you're right. I don't know your assistant. Leave me alone.
Nothing about Ruby. I already know what this is gonna say, but yeah. Miriam? Nothing on her. Sorry, I was looking at some. Yeah, I don't know what the smell is, and probably concerning, but it doesn't smell bad, so it might just be food downstairs or something. Coraline. What about Lucio? Nope. Aster? Nope. Alaric? Nope. Beatrice? Nope. Lazaric? What about yourself? Forgive me if I'm being rude, but what is a high speaker?
You seriously don't know? How ignorant are you?
Okay, that's a little rude.
The Church of Bahamut seeks to honor and revere the scared Lord Rathalion. We are all called to spread the word of his greatness throughout Wyverngard. The High Speaker leads the church through this mission.
Alright, you already know what's about to hit. What do you think about this spell? What 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 about this spell?
You will answer me at some point.
What about this spell? What about this spell? What about this spell? What about this spell?
What is this kid doing? I don't understand. I know I know magic a little bit.
Wait, actually, does this guy know magic? No, he don't. Never mind. He don't know magic.
I don't know anything about magic. I don't know why he's presenting all this to me.
Yay. Familiar bond. Sleep? Alright, nothing. What did you see? We heard that you saw the prosecutor acting strangely here. Could you tell us more about what you saw? Did it look like she was afflicted with mage blight?
I wouldn't go that far, but she was certainly acting strangely.
How'd you come across her?
Well, I was on my way to the prayer room. I always recite prayers from the draconic texts around that time.
He was heading to the prayer room?
When I saw her, I first thought she was just enjoying the view of the lake. I was about to greet her, but when I approached her, I saw that she was pushing something off the edge of the balcony.
You must have seen her dumping Sybil's body.
You're probably correct. I came to the same conclusion after they found that poor woman's body below us. But it feels wrong somehow.
What is it?
I always thought for a second. Lady Sybil was wearing much brighter colors this morning. Whenever Lady Steele went through into the lake, it looked much darker.
What does that mean?
I'm sorry, I can't really explain it. Perhaps I was just seeing things. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be, after all. It could have just been a trick of the light.
Strange. Theon Archaeus was on his way to the prayer room to recite his prayers. On his way there, he spotted Arya Steelwind throwing something off the west balcony. He wasn't able to see what she threw, but after Coraline Sybil's body was found like a Galacron, he assumed the object must have been Sybil's body. However, he could have sworn that he saw something darker, but he's still not sure. Okay. Why would it have been darker, though? Wait, if you saw Arya dumping Lady Sybil's body, she must have just murdered her. That means you must have been heading to where we were at the time.
Who? Were you praying there with Lord Pierce?
Not exactly.
What? That's not what the guards told me.
The guards? Do you mean the one standing watch outside the prayer room?
Yes, they told me that Pierce was praying with some acquaintances of his. They said the same thing to Lady Steelwind as well.
Alright, what's going on? Why are the guards now being false? Wait, Steelwind was there too?
Yes, she appeared to be waiting for something. I didn't want to disturb them, so I went back to my quarters to pray there.
The High Speaker didn't see her fighting Celeste. She must have started her attack after he left, but why would she bother waiting? Either way, we can't exactly question those guards.
Yeah, they're still comatose after the attack.
What is going on? Why didn't you hear anything? Actually, the High Speaker's quarters aren't that far away from the prayer room. Didn't you hear the fight between Steelwind and my bodyguard?
It must have been because of the magical wards in my room.
Magical wards? Are they there for security reasons?
Not exactly. I actually suffer from chronic insomnia. Even the smallest sound will wake me up at night. Years ago, I had some mages enchant the walls so that sound couldn't travel through them. I can't hear anything from outside the room once I shut my door.
That did sound awfully convenient, but I doubted that he'd lie about something so easily verified. Soundproof room? Supposedly Theon Archaeus suffers from chronic insomnia and can be awoken by even the smallest sound. As such, the walls of the High Speaker's quarters are completely soundproof once he closes the door. This should explain why Archaeus didn't hear the fight between Celeste McCoy and Arya Steelwind. I found everything I could here. Time to move. Alright. Can we go to the dungeons yet? The nave?
She attacked a member of the royal family and killed several nobles. What else is there to investigate? The laws are clear about what we must do. We should execute her immediately.
Alaric, this situation is far too much import to make such rash decisions. We need to approach this calmly and carefully.
Oh boy. As we returned to the nave, I spotted the young prince stomping around as he urged with the nobleman I saw earlier. Now that I thought about it, he was the only person here I didn't recognize. Yeah.
Oh, it's you two.
Your Highness. I don't think we've been introduced. What?
I see you're still as insolent as ever. You stand before Sir Remus Virgili, Archduke Oak and Royal Visor to the Wyvern Guard throne.
Sir Remus Virgili?
I believe he means advisor.
Royal Advisor? A mysterious lord who appears to be close to the royal family? Apparently he's the royal advisor to the King of Wyvergard. I wonder why I've never heard of him before. Archduke. I didn't even know the Kingdom of Wyvergard had a title like that. Why hadn't I ever heard of him before?
Why are you two still here anyway? I thought the cathedral was closed for the investigation.
We're investigating what happened on behalf of Prosecutor Steelman.
I see. Anyways, I have much to attend to. I'll be taking my leave.
Actually, since we have you here, we'd like to ask you some questions. Both of you.
You should know your place, knave.
No. I don't know shit.
Repario Arcanum.
Nothing there. It's time for the presenting to begin.
Why are you showing this runestone to me, knave?
It's my attorney's runestone. It proves that I'm a certified attorney.
Just like a peasant fawn over such a mundane piece of artificery. I want one.
Aw, little child. You just want a little piece. Give him a phone. Turn him into an iPad kid. Your Honor, turn him into an iPad kid. I didn't mean to hit this again.
I can't believe Lady Steelwind would do something like that. After everything my brother's done for her, this is how she repays him.
There's more to this than we're all seeing. She can't be responsible for this.
We'll see.
What can you tell me about this, Your Highness?
Pondering such things is beneath someone of my stature.
You just said he has nothing to say. Nothing about Celeste. I didn't mean to show the runestone again! Nothing on Von Sanctus. I assume he's going to say the same about all the murders. Yeah. I figured, but I always gotta check. Nothing about that. It's a good thing you came out of this unharmed. A lot of people lost their lives today.
Steelwind knows better than to harm a member of the royal family.
She harmed a lot of important people. Well, I mean, she didn't, but you get the point I'm trying to make. Nothing about Beatrice's spell compendium, nor Pierce's, nor Sybil's, nor Von Sanctus's. Nothing about the marriage. Nothing about the trapped king. Nothing about that. Nothing about that. Nothing about the soundproof room. People first at this rate. There's too many things.
Every time I see you, something horrible ends up happening. It's as if you bring trouble wherever you go.
My occupation just puts me in these positions.
So you go around looking for trouble then.
Well, he's not wrong. Shut up. Stop talking about Celeste. Or not. Stop talking about Arya. Nothing about Ruby. Yep, he's dead. Nothing about Miriam. My finger's starting to get tired of the clicking.
Doggy.
Yep. All the clicking. Lucio? Hello, Aster.
Of
Excuse me.
Out of everyone, I think my brother has gotten the worst out of this.
Right. He has to choose between protecting his fiancée and maintaining an image of objectivity.
I hope he's okay.
No. Yep. Same as before. Nothing about Beatrice. Nothing about Lazarick. This about Theon. Can't believe I've gone this long without knowing who you are. Why haven't I ever heard of you before, Your Grace?
His Grace did not see it fit to mingle with the common folk. He only concerned himself with the matters befitting of his station.
I don't like this kid.
Liquid? Sleep. Familial bond. Mend wounds. Send message. Animate corpse. Necrotic blight. Shatter. Invisibility. Feigned death. Illusory disguise. Prestidigitation. Conjure light. Conjure water. Frost wave. Force cage. Mage blade. Slow fall. Foresight. Strike true. Repario Arcanum. Stone skin. Say something, damn you. Teleport. Summon. Glyph contingency. Okay. What did Virgil I see? Your Grace, where were you when the murders took place?
And just what are you trying to insinuate?
Please, Alaric, there's no need for that. To answer your question, I was speaking with Lady Frega's familiar.
Tracker.
No, it was a demon who calls himself Maranath.
What?
He was actually the one who sent for me. According to him, he had some information that was of great import to me.
Did you make a contract with him?
Of course not. He gave me the information he had freely.
Why? Demons are supposedly always trying to trick humans into making deals with them.
Looking back, he must have been a distraction. What a fool I was. I knew he was playing with me, but I knew he was unable to lie. And the information he had was too important to ignore.
If you don't mind me asking, what was the information about?
I'm sorry, but I won't reveal what he's told me. It would be a danger to everyone here. But rest assured, it had nothing to do with the massacre.
Your Grace, we've only just met. I can't exactly just take your word for it.
I suppose that's fair, but believe me when I say that I plan to take this information to my grave.
That was ominous, but he was clearly intent on keeping their conversation a secret. What? Anyway,
Anyways, several members of the King's Guard were watching us. They can verify my alibi.
how long did this conversation last?
I arrived to speak with him at 1:50 p.m., and I didn't leave until 3:10 p.m.
The demon Maranath called Archduke Remus Virgili to meet with him at 1:50 p.m. He apparently had a very important information that Virgili couldn't ignore. Virgili spoke with Maranath until 3:10 p.m. The members of the King's Guard guarding the demon can verify this. So he was accounted for during the time frame of the murders. But why would Maranath go to the trouble of distracting him in the first place? Whoever orchestrated this also used a force cage to trap Aster. Are they trying to distract the forces in the cathedral? Or are they trying to keep certain people out of the crossfire? Your Highness, we heard that the prosecutor cast a spell on you when you saw the fire in the common room. Can you tell us more about what happened?
I can't believe she attacked a member of the royal family. She was completely irresponsible with her magic.
I understand your feelings about this, but we can't say for certain that she inflicted mage blight on herself. We don't even know if it was actually her.
I saw her with my own eyes. Plenty of other people did too.
Either way, where did this happen?
It was on the path outside the common room. I saw smoke coming from the building, and I saw Steelman walking away from it.
So this must have been after she murdered Von Sanctus. Okay. I have a feeling I already know the answer, but was she behaving erratically?
No, she very deliberately cast a spell on me.
which once again implies that Mage Blight wasn't behind this. Do you know which spells she cast on you?
I'm not sure. I've never been affected by a spell like that before.
From the magical trace on him, we know it was a transmutation spell.
A transmutation spell, okay. Do we have anything in the transmutation spells that fits in with this? Not Shape Liquid. Conjure Light, no. Slow Fall, no. Mage Blade, no. Stone Skin, no. No. We don't have anything that fits in with that.
Transmutation spells manipulate and change physical matter. It's scary to think about what that might do to a human body. Are you sure he's okay?
Lord Asclepius inspected him, and he didn't appear to have any lasting injuries. We're hoping the spell's effects were only temporary.
Can you describe what you felt while you were affected by it? That might help us identify which spell it was.
Well, I was extremely dazed and my ears were ringing. My vision was also partially blurred. It was as if my mind was in some sort of fog. Whenever I tried to speak, I couldn't even form words in my mouth. I could only make crying sounds. I couldn't walk either, so I had to crawl on the floor.
I'm sorry you had to go through that. It must have been traumatic. What kind of transmutation spell would do that to him? It had to be something that affected his senses. You already told us that she wasn't acting erratically, but was there anything off about her demeanor?
I only saw her for a moment, but she was definitely different than usual. She was completely emotionless.
Yeah, that's exactly what she was like when I fought her too.
She was like an arcane construct. Her movements were almost robotic.
Wait, are there any arcane constructs in the cathedral grounds?
No, not for the lack of trying on Lloyd's part. The High Speaker and I have specifically forbidden the staff here from using them.
It would have been really convenient if all this was done using a construct. Anyways, was anyone else around when Steelwind cast that transmutation spell on you?
No, she moved away quickly after she incapacitated me. And even if someone was around, I don't think I could have seen them anyways.
Alaric the Wyvern saw Arya Steelwind exiting the common room. He saw that a fire had started there, but when he asked Steelwind what was going on, she cast a transmutation spell on him. The spell blurred his vision and put him in a daze. His ears were ringing, and he was unable to speak or walk properly. He could only move by crawling on the ground. Strangely, no one saw him while he was in this state. Okay. Commander White also said that he was surprised no one saw the prince until after the spell wore off. Was he being made invisible? What happened to him? That covers Alaric's account of what happened, and we even got the Archduke's statement too. But there's still one person we need to speak to.
Arya.
She and Beatrice supposedly have no memories of what happened. If it were only Beatrice saying that, I'd probably doubt it. But if Steelwind also doesn't have any memories, it becomes a lot more credible. She definitely has the missing pieces. We need to put this together.
Are you going to the dungeon to speak with her?
I am.
Wonderful. I'll be accompanying you.
What?
As a royal advisor, I have vested interest in this investigation. While I trust Lucio to leave no stone unturned, I hear you have quite the talent for seeing what the crown cannot.
Okay, fine. To the dungeons. We arrived at the dungeons and found the prosecutor walking around her holding cell. Several papers with haphazardly scratched notes were scattered around it. She was pacing back and forth, head lowered in contemplation as she stared at one of them. She didn't even notice us until I knocked on the bars to her cell.
Mr. Cuthbert, and your grace.
Steelwind's eyes stayed on the Archduke before turning to us. How are you doing?
As best I can, all things considered. What brings you here?
We're trying to investigate everything that happened.
I see.
I was wondering if you could answer some of our questions. Steelwind, I know your situation is pretty grim right now, but you know you can trust me.
I know, but at this moment, I don't even know if I can trust myself.
What? Yeah, I can tell she doesn't trust herself.
Arcane.
It's time to show everything! What do you think about this, Miss Steelwind? You don't have anything to say about the stone? That's weird.
I'm sorry about what happened, Celeste. I can't imagine the lack of closure you feel right now. No, I don't care about that anymore. I'm just glad Tyrion is safe.
Nothing about the map. Sleece, I heard that you and
Sleece, I heard that you and I fought during the massacre. I apologize if I hurt you in any way.
Sleece.
Sorry, this is just a lot to take in. A few hours ago, it really felt like you were trying to kill me. I'm truly sorry.
She even believes that she tried to do it. She knows something. She has to know something. She has to know why she has to know why she acted the way she did. Or at least what caused it to act the way she did.
Can't believe we lost so many house leaders in the course of a few months. Now my father is the only head of the House of the Four Pillars that still lives.
Beatrice's blackmail revealed that those massacres in the countryside were orchestrated by William Frege. I couldn't help but wonder. Lucio was now the only surviving Pillar Lord. Was that a coincidence, or was it by design? That's a good question. Nothing on that. Nothing on the report. Nothing on the knights. Nothing on Beatrice. Nothing on Beatrice's spell compendium. Nothing on Pierce's. Nothing on Sybil's. Nothing on Von Sanctus. I was fully expecting her to say something about her marriage. Nothing about the debris. Nothing about Archaeus. Nothing about the soundproof room. Nothing about Vergili. Whoopsie, whoopsie, whoopsie.
I can't believe I was forced to attack Prince Alaric.
Don't feel too guilty. He doesn't seem to have any lasting injuries.
Regardless, he's much too young to experience something like that.
She really believes she did this. She knows that she was controlled.
I'm glad you're unharmed, Mr. Cuthbert. I was worried when I saw you lying next to Pierce's corpse.
Well, I definitely got the least of it. I should consider myself lucky that whoever did this decided not to kill me. Nothing on yourself. Same thing here. Nothing on Ruby. Again. Nothing on Miriam. Nothing on Leifa. Nothing on Tracker. Same thing on Lloyd. I assume same thing on Sybil as well? I would even imagine same thing on your father. No, surprisingly not.
I'm relieved his majesty was unharmed during the massacre.
Whoever orchestrated this trapped him in Force Cage. They must have used him as a distraction while they went after their true targets.
As callous as it is, I'm glad he wasn't their real target. I don't know what I would have done, what I would do if anything happened to him.
No. Same thing as the other one. Nothing about Beatrice. Nothing about Lazarick. Nothing about Archaeus. Nor Remus. It's time for the spell deluge. Nothing on Shape Liquid. Nothing on Sleep. Nothing on Familial Bond. Nothing on Mend Wounds. Nothing on Send Message. Nothing on Animate Corpse. Nothing on Necrotic Blight. Nothing on Shatter. Nothing on Invisibility. Nothing on Feigned Death. Nothing on Illusory Disguise. Nothing Prestidigitation. Nothing Conjure Light. Nothing Conjure Water. Nothing Frostwave. Nothing Force Cage. Nothing Mage Blade. Nothing Slowfall. Nothing Foresight. What'd I use again? I don't even know what I just presented. I think it was strike true. Prepare your Arcanum. Nothing on stone skin.
Ah, itchy.
Nothing on teleport. Nothing on summon. And nothing on glyph. Yeah, I figure. Alright. What happened? We heard that you don't have any memories of what happened. Is that true?
It is. No matter how much I try, I can't recall anything.
What's the last thing you remember?
I believe I was leaving my meeting with the High Speaker and His Majesty. After the meeting, I was planning to return to the nave to speak with my father, but I suddenly felt something churning inside my stomach. I thought some fresh air might help stave off the nausea, so I went to the balcony.
The one over Lake Galacron?
Yes, that one. Last thing I remember was losing consciousness as I looked at the lake.
And did you cast any magic before this happened?
No, I didn't.
Are you sure you don't remember anything after that?
I don't. All I remember is waking up to the sound of someone sobbing. It was Celeste. It seemed that you just regained consciousness, Mr. Cuthbert.
Arya Steelwind has no memories of what happened after she left her meeting with Theon Archaeus and Asterday Wyvernguard. After she left the meeting, she began heading to the nave to meet with her father. However, she suddenly felt nauseous and went to the westward balcony. She lost her consciousness soon after. She later regained consciousness in the prayer room shortly after I did. She heard Celeste McCoy crying over me. She did not cast any magic before she fell unconscious. I feel like we've completely ruled out Mage Blight, so I doubt that's why you can't remember anything. Are there any other spells that can specifically modify or destroy people's memories? It would certainly explain a lot of this.
No, arcane spells can only affect the physical world. But throughout history, mages have attempted to develop spells that can affect the mind. There's no recorded history of any of them succeeding.
You can't assume that arcane spells are the only type of magic that exists.
You think it's some other kind of magic?
I think you observed it already. There are magical creatures in this world that don't use arcane magic. Isn't that right, Mr. Cuthbert?
I'm not sure what you're trying to imply.
If I learned that Lumina had any hand in this...
Your Grace, I'm not an agent of the Theocracy. And even if what you're saying is true, I wasn't the one who manipulated Steelwind's memories. But I suppose you raise a good point. If something affected Steelwind's memories, it wasn't necessarily an arcane spell. In fact, it couldn't have been an arcane spell. It was definitely something else.
You're probably right. Which proves that I'm responsible for the murders.
What? You just said that you don't have any memories of what happened. Why are you so convinced that you're responsible for this? I told the Inquisition already. I saw Beatrice before I passed out. She's clearly involved in this somehow.
There's more to this than you realize, Mr. Cuthbert. For the past few months, the Inquisition and I have been investigating a string of seemingly unrelated murders. During each of those cases, we were able to apprehend the perpetrator without issue. But there was always something off about them during questioning.
I forgot about that. You're right, you mentioned this before.
The murders were always abnormally gruesome and passionate, and each of the perpetrators said the same thing. They all said they had no choice.
No choice?
Cases like this have been occurring throughout Wyvernguard, and very little connects the perpetrators to each other. All except one thing. Each of them acted as if someone had controlled them against their will.
They're probably just desperate. Most murders try to make excuses after they're caught. They could even just be in complete denial.
Arm said the same thing, but these cases were far too similar for me to ignore. I wonder if they were telling the truth. Perhaps each of these murders was committed by an unknown party. I didn't have any concrete evidence, but I knew I was getting closer to something.
The Purple Conspiracy. Steelwind, I don't mean to be rude, but this sounds...
completely insane.
You don't even have any physical evidence to prove these murders are connected.
There's one piece of evidence, but it's hardly concrete. But it does tie each of these cases together.
She took out a small parchment from her pocket and showed it to me. It's a purple symbol. Strange.
Several of the people who were arrested had an item with the symbol on it. None of them can remember where it came from or even what it was. But they all somehow knew that it was called the Purple Mark.
There has to be an explanation for this. It could just be some esoteric superstition that we don't know about.
If that's true, then ask yourself one thing. Where did I get this parchment from?
You don't mean...
I found it in my pocket after I was properly confined. The symbol must have been a calling card of some sort. For all I know, they could have controlled my body and forced me to draw the symbol myself. This massacre at the cathedral is related to it.
It's some sort of strange symbol. Arya Steelwind calls it the Purple Mark. She thinks it has some relation to her mind control conspiracy. Supposedly, this mark has been found at the scenes of several gruesome murders throughout Wyverngard. Arya felt that she was getting close to the truth. When she regained consciousness after the massacre, she found a paper with the symbol in her pocket. I don't want to dismiss what you said, but this definitely won't hold up in court.
Nor should it. If my mind had been compromised, I can't take the risk of leaving this dungeon. Otherwise, I could end up harming more people.
Well, you can't exactly spend the rest of your life in this dungeon. Wait. Are you serious? What about Aster? Weren't you two supposed to be married soon? He's a king now, and you can't rule Wyverngard alongside him from a holding cell.
You're correct. But he's always been a remarkable person. He should have no problem finding another sutress. I must think of his well-being too.
Arya. No.
What?
Your plan is terrible, and I hate it. I'll just defend you and figure out what really happened.
Mr. Cuthbert, I am not going to risk more lives. If I were to hurt His Majesty, I would never be able to... Please don't ask that of me.
Saving Steelwind's future.
Oh boy, here we go.
Doesn't seem like there's any kind of, Steelwind was going to throw everything away, everything she cared about. Even if she was the one who did all this, she's not the one who's responsible. I wouldn't let her resign herself to a fate like this. Steelwind acts for the greater good of the kingdom, regardless of the amount of suffering she must endure in doing so. She cares deeply for Aster and will do anything to protect him. However, she's still a rational person and will be receptive to logical arguments. Steelwind, are you seriously just going to throw your life away?
If it were necessary, I would give my life for this kingdom. If someone controlled my actions today, they can and will do it again. A villain controlled my mind. As long as that possibility exists, I can't trust myself.
That's not the issue here. If someone else is responsible for what happened, then we need to find out who they are. They're still out there. That's assuming this person can continue to do so. We don't know how this mind control works. We can't just drop up this without finding out what really happened. Do you even understand what you're saying? You'll lose everything if you just let this happen. That's not the issue here. If someone else is responsible for what happened. We need to find out who they are. They can still be out there.
That's true, you can find out for yourself.
Damn it. But that's assuming this person can continue to do so. You said so yourself. You haven't found any evidence to prove your theory. We don't know how this mind control works. We don't even know what this magic is. We can't just drop this without finding out what really happened.
I suppose you're right, but I doubt there was any goal to this. The person responsible was just a sadistic killer. I've been investigating these murders for months. The person behind this is a sadistic individual who wanted to cause as much suffering as possible. There's no way to connect them to this.
What about the mark? Sorry, I'm... What about the Trapped King? That's not true, Steelwind. Whoever did this had very specific targets in mind. They didn't kill the king. Both Prince Alaric and the High Speaker saw you when the murders were being committed. Not to mention, they set a trap for Aster.
What?
Let's assume that someone was controlling you. They wouldn't have left Alaric, Arceus, or Aster alive if they were trying to cause as much suffering as possible.
I suppose you have a point there, but even so, that hardly narrows things down. If someone were controlling me, they wouldn't need to enter the cathedral to use me. The perpetrator didn't need to enter the cathedral to commit the murders. Perhaps you're right, and the perpetrator only wanted to murder the 3 victims. There's plenty of people who might want to see those 3 dead.
Wait, no, they did. Because of force cage, right? They can't enter otherwise. There's one thing you're overlooking. Before the murder started, someone trapped Aster within a force cage using Glyph of Contingency.
They didn't harm him. It's probably just a distraction.
Even so, this gives us two very important clues. The first is that whoever did this was capable of casting those two spells. This means that the perpetrator was either a mage or working with one.
That's true.
But the second clue is the most important one. Whoever set that trap for Aster, they did so within 24 hours of it triggering. The Grand Cathedral is close to the public. That means that the perpetrator must have been someone who attended the funeral.
So it was one of them.
That narrows down our list of suspects substantially. There's a chance that we can identify who did this. And if they really did control your actions, we can find a way to prevent them from doing so again. Steelwind, you need to fight this.
I can't.
Why not?
I mean, this will put people in danger. If we pursue an individual like this, they might retaliate even more than they already have. They want to remove me from my position. How will they react if I try to resist? They might hurt even more people to send a message. It's far too dangerous.
We can't back down in the face of injustice. If we let the perpetrator get away with this, we're letting them know that their actions will go unanswered. I doubt someone like that would go that far. They might decide to lie low and wait for things to die down. Whoever did this had a goal far bigger than you, and you have no guarantee they'll stop here. Who will they target next? Your father? The king? Whoever did this had a goal far bigger than you, and you'll have no guarantee that they'll stop there. 3 nobles died today, and 2 of them were near the top of the political hierarchy. What if they decide to go after more victims? Who will they target next? Your father? The king? We need to catch them before they can do more harm. I know you're frightened about what might happen to people close to you. We can't let someone this dangerous get away with this.
When you put it that way, I suppose I have no other choice, do I?
Okay.
I never realized before, Mr. Cuthbert.
What?
You really have a bad habit of butting your nose into other people's business, don't you?
Yeah, I suppose I do.
But you're right. We can't let this go. I'll find a way to dispute this. Somehow. Thank you, Mr. Cuthbert.
I think we know each other long enough. You don't need to be so formal. I successfully persuaded Arya Steelwind.
I know I agreed to fight this, but...
What is it? You're the most qualified attorney in the nobility. You'll definitely be able to make a case for yourself.
As you probably know, House Sybil controls the legislative and judicial branches of our kingdom. And they've nominated my father as the prosecutor for my trial.
What? I had a feeling!
My theory of mind control is not substantiated by the evidence, but we can't blame another kingdom's magic because of that. Everyone believes I overspent my magic and gave myself mage blight. As a result, they blame House Steelwind for the Minister of Justice's death. Now, the only way for him to redeem House Steelwind is to convict me and sentence me to death. But he's your father! There's no way he would... This isn't the first time something like this has happened.
We've heard about your mother.
When I was a child, my mother accidentally overused her magic and induced mage blight within herself. In a resulting psychotic episode, she massacred an entire village of commoners.
Scaled Lord.
House Steelwind almost lost everything after that. To redeem himself, my father personally oversaw my mother's trial and her execution. That's what happened? My father values his duty of Wyvern Guard over everything else. Nothing matters more to him than that. Not even his family. I'd like to still have confidence in myself, but I don't know if I can face him like this.
Mr. Cuthbert, what is your stake in all of this?
What?
You hate the nobility, don't you? So why are you so intent on helping Miss Steelwind?
Because she's my friend, jackass. Because she's innocent. What else is there to say?
Mr. Cuthbert.
It doesn't matter if she's a noble or a commoner. She's being oppressed by the politics of our kingdom like all my other clients.
Well said.
What?
I, Remus Virgili, hereby grant you the privilege to serve as Miss Steelwind's counsel.
Okay. What?
As a royal advisor, I will be acting as a judge and arbiter of Miss Steelwind's trial. It is within my right to grant you such permissions.
I'll gladly accept. If Prosecutor Steelwind will have me.
Of course. There's no one I trust more with this. And please, you've done a lot for me already. You don't have to be so formal. Sleece is already taking to call me by my first name. But since you'll be defending me, you'll probably need this.
Arya's Spell Compendium contains Mend Wounds, Firebolt, Shape Liquid, Dispel Magic, Steel Wind Strike, Detect Magic, Polymorph, and Hold Creature. Firebolt. Bolto. Evocation. Point index finger at the target, and it's instant. The caster launches a fiery projectile that's hot enough to inflict third-degree burns. This projectile can travel 120 feet without collision before its magic dissipates. Once it collides edge with something, it will set the object ablaze if it's flammable. Hold Creature, an evocation spell. Hodl, point at the target while concentrating. The caster completely restricts the movement of the target. While concentrating on the spell, the target will be unable to move any part of their body. Even subtle movements, such as the gestures required to cast certain spells, are impossible. As a result, the target will also be unable to move their mouth to speak. In that case, we know what the spell that was used on Alaric was. It was likely Hold Creature. Right? Steel and Strike, an evocation spell, Volnus, point at target, and it's instant. The caster strikes targets of their choice within a 40-foot radius with the slashing force. Each slash has the might and power of a mage blade and cut through thick metal armor. It's the ultimate spell of House Steelwind, and its spell formula is a closely guarded secret. Polymorph, Transmutation, Dramway. Okay. Point index finger at the target and lasts for an hour. The caster transforms the target within 30 feet of them into an animal. The animal can be any creature that can fit within a 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot cube. For the duration, the target's senses and intellect will also be changed to match that of the animal they are transformed into. Dispelled Magic. Abjuration, Aburio. Choose any magical effect within 120 feet. The spell that is creating the effect immediately ends, unless the targeted spell is immune to being dispelled. However, this only ends the spell's effects. It does not undo the effects of the spell. For example, dispelling a shaped liquid on an affected liquid will only prevent the caster from further manipulating the liquid. It will not unfreeze the liquid or change it back to normal.
Then it's settled. I will hold the trial at my home, the city of Leyden.
Leyden?
Speak with Lucio. He knows the location well.
Before I could ask any more questions, the Archduke left without a word. So he's the judge? He really had a bad habit of just walking away from conversations. Who is he? I didn't even know Archdukes existed in Wyverngard.
Tay was the first time I met him as well. I'm just as confused as you are. He seems to be well acquainted with my father, though.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter. He's just like any other judge. I had no idea what I was in for when I agreed to this. And what proceeded next would be unlike any trial I'd ever defended or prosecuted. But I would save Arya's future, no matter what it took. Regardless of what I'd have to risk to do so. Holy fuck. I think we're going to go ahead and end it there for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed and hope to see you all later. Peace. I can end this, right? Okay. Peace.